Oh. Hello? Can you guys hear us? Can you guys hear us?
Sound check.
Right now it's just 2 out of the 5 of us, so
Yep.
let us know.
People are coming.
Let us know if you guys can, if you can hear us right now.
Can you hear us? Anybody?
The rest of the family's coming soon, but we thought we'd come on and
Say hi.
greet you all, greet everyone that's already here.
Yes. See who's with us.
See who's with us right now.
Yep.
Let's see who's here.
Yes.
Hello, TJ Sen.
Yep. Hello.
Zykeem Porter.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Really, really nice. Awesome. Yes, we can be heard. Thank goodness. So. Right.
The rest of the family's coming. They're just finishing up, taking out the dog, and either using the restroom or getting dinner ready. So.
Yes. Oh, the third sibling.
The third one.
The third one emerges.
The one and only.
I'm walking around, making my way.
The one and only. Oof. We're very excited to be here with you guys tonight. We have our parents are coming in very soon, but we're excited to be going live. It's been a couple months, and it's been quite a crazy couple of months. I think the last time we had a live was in the summer, and now it's like, we're in the heart of winter right now. So.
Heart. Yeah. It's only getting started where we're at.
It's kind of crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I know some people are celebrating summer right now.
Yeah.
Because of, depending on where you live. But we're celebrating winter. Mm-hmm. Not really experiencing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if celebrating is the right word, but I mean, it's a new season, so I guess it is a celebration in a way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's almost New Year's, hence why we are doing this live.
Hello, Rick Bickmore. We're glad you can hear us.
Yes, thank you.
We're glad that you're here with us, so thank you for joining us. We got some great things we want to talk about tonight, just kind of recapping the year, how the year's been for us as a family, kind of what we've been going through, some milestones for us, as well as the movies and things that we watched this year, because we watched a lot. There were a lot of things that we watched. Yep. So we're excited to kind of go over all that together and then be able to talk about what we look forward to coming up in this new year, what movies and TV shows we're looking forward to, and then what we're excited about as MaJeliv as a whole. So yeah, we'll wait for the parents to come and join us. But let us know in the comments how you guys are doing so far. There's only a few of you right now. Yeah. So maybe a couple people will join in. Now, we actually technically are starting earlier than we usually do. Usually we start, I think, closer to 7. So maybe that's a big reason too. But yeah, we're just gonna chill here and wait. But I'm trying to think of what else. What have we seen recently? We didn't do a review to it, but we watched WONKA before the holidays. Which, by the way, important note, we hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas or Hanukkah. However, your holidays. We hope that your holidays were blessed and filled with a lot of love. Yes. We definitely had a great Christmas. We had a great time together with family. And we hope that you guys did as well. We also understand that this time of year can be extremely hard for a lot of you. So we also just know that you guys are in our prayers and that we definitely were thinking of you during this time of year because we know, again, it's different for everybody. There's a lot going on. So yeah, just know that you guys were definitely on our hearts during this holiday season, and we are extremely excited to be going into this next year with all of you. So yes, hello Ashish. So yes, hey. By the way, if you guys don't know already, it'd mean a lot if you guys can help us. If you guys can help support this channel through Super Chat. And also, you have some cool animations come up. We changed up some gifts. I think last time we had Blue Beetle and Barbie, and now we have Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, it was a whole Barbenheimer talk.
Anakin and
oh yeah, now we have.
Took so long to make the thumbnail.
Forgot who else we put, but anyway.
It was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot of work for one live.
And the work began that day. Like we were scrambling, man.
Oh,
we
got it done.
No, definitely, yeah.
Really great.
But I'm trying to think. Which, by the way, you two have to watch Barbie still. You haven't seen Barbie.
We have not seen Barbie.
We're hoping to do. You guys are trying
I think that's probably if I'm gonna have to put down like a making. I know that there's things that we'd all like to work on in the new year, but I think that's a fun one to kind of put down as like something like the new year.
There's definitely some things we're gonna be reacting to in the new year for sure.
100%, yeah. I'm excited.
I'm curious.
Should go very well.
It should go very well.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go check on the parents.
On the parents.
Chatting it up, catch people up as to what you've been up to.
What we've been up to.
What you've been playing. I mean, I don't know. We've talked about trying to do some gaming streams or like sharing games with you guys.
We have already.
We technically have already.
Not necessarily like a story game.
Yeah.
More of like we played Mario Kart, Mario Golf.
Yeah.
We started Paper Mario, but then we stopped it because we wanted to give it the time it deserved.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I think that was a really fun live. We were talking about Mario.
Yeah.
Right?
The whole time. As we played Mario. It was quite great.
Yeah.
Quite great.
Wasn't that like around when the movie came out or something?
I'm not entirely sure.
Something like that. I don't know
what the relationship with it was. I mean, also just to play Mario is fun. So I wasn't sure if there was anything specific. Not sure. But definitely gaming is something I want to try at some point.
Yeah.
Me and my parents.
Do that.
Join the gaming party, the gaming fun. So.
What's up, Spotter? I don't know how you pronounce that.
Akeem's looking forward to the final season of Cobra Kai.
Yes.
I know.
Wild. 6 seasons. 6, right?
I heard Jackie Chan is supposed to be part of it too.
Well, no. Jackie Chan with Ralph is gonna be. They're gonna be starting.
Or what was that?
They're gonna kind of be reviving the franchise, I guess. Movie-wise, they're gonna do a movie.
Oh.
So somehow they're gonna connect both Karate Kids movies.
It has good potential.
I hope it
okay.
connects to everything Cobra Kai has done. Like to see Daniel LaRusso in 2 different Karate Kid verses would be kind of weird.
That'd be
I do think that their involvement in the movie is gonna help it do really well. I think just because they both, I mean,
they were both in the
both of those movies were really impactful, and of course the original is really great, and then the second one was the one that we kind of grew up watching because we did Jimmy and I, we didn't necessarily watch the original Karate Kid as much as we saw the
Will Smith
the Will Smith
Jaden Smith one and that one we always loved because it was like its own thing.
Will Smith isn't in the movie.
No,
Jaden Smith is.
But I think
I think he was part of producing it.
Might have produced it,
Some of the Smiths, they were involved with it.
But that one was a really, really great one as well. So
yeah,
for sure.
Very curious to see.
Another thing we've been watching recently.
Oh, that scene.
Right. Which one?
With the bamboo sticks.
Oh yeah.
So emotional.
So emotional.
If you know what I'm talking about, please let me know. But that, I think combining Jackie Chan, right?
Combining both would be very interesting. I wouldn't even know how they would begin with that.
But they've got an idea.
Potential.
I mean,
Great
clearly.
potential.
They've got
I mean, if they find a way to show us and kind of
parents are coming.
Explain to us that Mr. Miyagi could have known Mr. Wan, like that would have
that would
so
be
cool.
insanity.
If they somehow knew each other, you know, that'd be really cool. Oh, shadows. Is that coffee or is that chai tea?
It's chai. Sorry, we were finishing up dinner so the kitchen doesn't burn down. We didn't want to leave the food unattended.
You know, one of these.
Can we appreciate the father's
hello everyone
tropical attire right now?
Well, I'm getting ready for whatever the year's bringing.
Summer.
Summer cruising adventures galore. Whatever it is.
The cruise is kind of in the dream.
Yes.
We're sending out some good cruisy type of vibes for the new year.
Oh yeah,
We can
definitely.
make it happen.
Cruise and all.
Merry Christmas, everybody! Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays!
Yes.
Yeah.
So good to be here.
Chai does mean tea.
Chai does mean tea.
Chai does mean tea. I don't know why we call it chai tea
That's
here.
why
It's
we
a
didn't
habit.
say chai tea.
You said
We
chai,
just
right?
Said chai.
I said chai.
Oh, chai.
Because we
But I
learned.
think
It's our
Spoder-
lesson.
I think
not
Spoder
tea
is
It's chai.
is quoting Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Tea.
Oh, okay.
Chai is tea, bro. That's so good. I love that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, I know for sure. No, this is great. So I was telling him that we're gonna kind of be recapping everything that kind of went on this year. But one side are kind of our family milestones, what we've been going through, like what's happened to us this last year, kind of some highlight events in our lives in this last year, and then also the movies, the things that we reacted. So that's kind of what we're gonna be doing, kind of recapping this last year that we just went through, and then also what we're excited about, or what kind of where we're at moving forward going into 2024, where our headspace is, like where we are, our mindset, and even the projects, movies, TV shows that we're excited about. So and we're happy to be here with all of you,
and then maybe some questions at the end.
And then we'll probably do some questions
Q&A.
in there, and of course if you guys have any questions, you guys can throw them into the chat. And again, you guys can support what we do here on this channel by either becoming a member today, or by clicking that join icon next to the subscribe button, if you haven't already, and then also through super chat. So you guys have 2 ways of supporting what we do on this channel, but you being here regardless means a lot to us, so thank you for doing that. But if you do become a member or support us through super chat, you'll see some cool animations on screen. So we changed up the GIFs.
I think it's gonna be like
one of them
right here.
Very lively.
One in front of Josh, one in
If you
front of
subscribe,
Jamie.
I think too.
Yeah, if you subscribe as well. So if you haven't subscribed,
You gotta
subscribe already.
subscribe.
Get this screen going. Get it exciting.
There.
But
Like,
we're very happy to be here. I'm seeing some
Right in
familiar
front of his face.
names here from previous lives, and also
hello.
Family.
Hey,
Hello.
look who it is.
Hey, Paula Sands.
Hello,
Hello,
Paula
Paula
Sands.
Sands. Donna Selden. Hi everyone. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year. Yes, we are getting very close. What was your favorite film this year? Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Favorite film?
I think we can start jumping into the recap.
Let's-
Do you guys want to start with
Yeah.
the family milestones first, or the movies, or what we should
I think
do?
movies.
Let's go movies first,
Movies
and then
first.
maybe juxtapose them with a little bit of family milestones.
Before we jump in though, can we answer that question?
Which one?
About if he's gonna
Season
Can we
6?
expect it
Yeah.
to appear in season 6? We were talking about
I
Cobra
think
Kai.
I say we can
Oh.
answer that because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have no. Sadly, no. The answer is no. I am back to being strictly a fan of the show.
Yep.
And along with the rest of you out there, we will be watching how they wrap up this truly magnificent show. I'm just extremely thrilled and honored. I genuinely have days where I forget I was a part of it, and then there's times where we run into the soundtrack, and then it's one of us reminds me that, oh hey, it's kind of cool you were a part of that. It was pretty special. But beyond what you've already seen or maybe you've heard, no, there's nothing coming for me in that world anymore. As far as Cobra Kai goes, I think when it all culminates, I will be surprised as much as you will with whatever happens. But no, as far as I know, Principal Lopez is not in it. At least, not me. So.
He could secretly be. Probably secretly training to become a sensei or a martial art master because of what happened at his school.
Shout out to Josiah. He says, "Oh man, we all went live as I'm walking into work.
Oh, whoops.
I'll just say hi and happy New Year. Hello, Josiah. Sending our hellos.
Yes.
Happy New Year. Good luck at work. Good luck at work.
Yes, best for sure.
Oh, let me see here. Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of your channel. Have you guys watched What If Season 2? It's fantastic. We have not seen it.
We have not.
But we have heard fun things. It does look interesting.
We've talked about wanting to get on it. We're ironing out some pretty significant, beautiful changes that have come our way, and that's some of the stuff we'll talk about tonight. But What If is something that is
there's What If. There's also Tales of the Jedi that we've wanted to see.
I know.
Percy Jackson. So there's a lot of different shows that we're just trying to navigate how we're gonna watch all of them, and which ones we're just gonna do like uncut watch alongs to, or which ones we're actually gonna do edited reactions to, because especially with the work that we're doing now, it's just the editing for edited reactions just takes a long time, and so it's about kind of realizing where we can delegate and also where they can do how we balance out the work for sure. But
What If Season 2 was awesome? Does that mean that it's done? Is it done?
No, it's fantastic.
No, I think they mean that they finished it. They've already watched the whole season.
Yes,
but that's
what you mean,
right? It's done.
I think it is.
They released all the episodes.
I think they released a big chunk of them at the start. But I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's great.
Not sure.
I mean,
but
it means we don't have to wait weeks. That's great.
Yeah, for sure. But also, I think it's kind of crazy that it kind of went on and nobody was really. I mean, I'm sure people were talking about it, but it wasn't as big as it has been in the past, I guess.
Yeah.
But
So we kick this off with our list of.
Definitely, yes. So we can do a recap of
first
kind
off, you're getting love with the outfit.
Oh yeah.
Taking it back to the Miami days, apparently.
Muchas gracias. Yes. I hope
that said that.
Paulita.
I'm hoping
She likes your look.
the outfit makes you groove and move.
Oh, they were doing it daily.
Oh,
Wow.
was it
So it was like
daily
a weekly. Wow, it was like back to back. Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Trying new things. Yeah.
That is interesting that they would do it every day like
For
that.
sure.
That's fun. Tune in tomorrow night.
Yep.
That's cool.
On What If Season 2.
Yeah, so basically we again, for anyone that's just jumping in, just a quick recap. We're gonna be recapping the year for us as a family, kind of some milestones that we've been through, some highlight moments of this past year for us, as well as some of our favorite reactions that we've just loved to record and also share with all of you.
Yep.
And then the movies that we watched and TV shows, and then what we're excited to see moving forward. What stuff's coming that we're excited about. So that's kind of what we're going to be breaking down today.
Yes.
So we are going to be starting with the recap of our reactions. The beginning of this year, we started with Iga, which I don't know if we have any Indian cinema fans watching right now, but if any of you are not Indian, or you don't have any, if you're not really into Indian cinema, we definitely, if you've noticed on our channel, we definitely have we've dove deep.
Yeah.
We dove deep into Indian cinema.
Yeah.
And we've been loving it. It's been so enriching and just so amazing. I feel like it's just enriching our creative spirit, movie, for sure.
Iga changed our life. I mean,
yeah,
every time I see a fly, I go, Iga.
Yeah. Seriously. But Iga was incredible. Iga was incredible. It's same director of RRR, which, as you guys remember, won an Oscar for the best song. Is directed by S.S. Rajamouli. And so a lot of our Indian fans were telling us to watch this movie. And when we read the premise, when we read the story, it was like, dude, we have to watch this. And we did. And we were blown away. So we've seen, Iga, Bahubali 1 and 2, RRR. I think now we're missing, is it Magadira is the last one that we haven't seen. I think was one of his earlier films. But anyway, started off the year with Iga. And that was actually like the last Indian cinema reaction that we did on our regular MaJeliv channel, and then we kicked off our MaJeliv India channel.
Yeah, we reacted to some other ones.
Right, we did there. We brought back a reaction that actually got like taken off of YouTube, and then we brought it back. We were able to edit it so that we could post it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were wanting that one.
Yeah.
That was to Jersey, I think the Telugu version.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know, and then we can but then in the MaJeliv India, that way we were able to kind of focus on both. Separately, which if there's any Indian fans watching, just so that you guys know, we have not forgotten about you, and we've been thinking about you. We know that the channel has kind of been unattended, but we do have some exciting plans as to how to continue to bring you guys along with us as we watch more stuff, more Indian cinema for sure. We even have some family members that have jumped into Indian cinema, and they keep giving us these new movies to watch, and they keep joking with us.
Can't keep up with her.
They can't keep up with how many for sure.
But she's loving it, so we have to check it out for sure.
So yeah. So anyway, so we saw Iga. Showed it the MaJeliv India channel, and then I think the biggest reaction that we did after that was Last of Us.
Oh yes.
Which was our first uncut watch along that we really did. So
yeah, that's right.
We watched every single episode, put all the uncuts on YouTube for our YouTube memberships, and then we also did the part 1 and 2. We know we haven't done part 3 yet. Part 3 is coming. It's gonna come out early part of this year in January is the goal. And I even was thinking maybe we do a full, complete series where you can watch all the episodes with us in terms of all the edited parts together. But point is, part 3 is coming. We know that there's a lot of Last of Us fans that have been wanting to see our reaction to the end because it was a lot. And I think part of why it's been easy for me to just kind of push it to the side in terms of editing is because of how emotional it is. There's just so much that we... Yeah. The emotion and our reaction to it is it's a lot. So I think sitting through all of that is a lot. It's kind of what happened to me when I played the game. I was like, it was easy to kind of...
You took
it's just emotionally very overwhelming. So anyway, point is, finally to get through that, finally going to get that and get that sent your way. So Last of Us was fantastic. And you guys can chime in as to what you guys thought about it as well.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Last of Us... Mando season 3 came out after that. I think it was the next big thing.
Man, that feels like ages ago.
I know. It feels like forever.
Goodness gracious.
Mando.
Feels like
Mando. That was an interesting season, not gonna lie, because I feel like they were building up Ahsoka. Because wasn't that when they were releasing the trailer? I don't know. It was interesting. It was like an interesting in between. I know they were announcing a lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was fun.
Definitely, for sure. Someone's asking us really quickly, have you seen Invincible?
Yes.
Season 1,
the guys have. The boys have seen.
The girls were away for a weekend, and we
watched
season binged 1. It was
a lot intense. It was. I mean, we loved it.
Yeah, we've seen season 1. I know season 2 is up and running.
It's a lot, though. It definitely is a lot. I don't think the girls would like it.
It's probably not my jam, so they were very smart to watch it when we were gone.
I
don't think I would sit through that.
Jimmy
I think it's
probably
a bit
would.
much for me.
I wouldn't mind. I know violence.
I just
you would probably.
I just need a little bit longer to sit with her again so that we can see the show because it's a lot. So we had to go out and eat pizza after the last episode of season 1 because it's a lot.
It was a lot, man.
But it's fantastic. I love the medium that it's told in because it looks like it could be a kid show, because it's like this superhero comic book animation style. But no,
toddler's parents' nightmare.
No, and that adds to the insane weight that it puts on your chest.
It's got a lot of big themes that are told in a very intense way. I know, Dad, you we had some deep conversations, like you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean those characters, and then the voice acting. It's just, J.K. Simmons
brings it to life.
It's just as Omni-Man.
He's great.
And then
He's awesome.
yeah, it's just so great. So yeah, Invincible we have seen, but back to the recap. What did you guys think? Yeah, so Jimmy, you mentioned it. Sort of started to mention it about Mando season 3. I think. Yeah, I started off a certain way. And
during the moment, it seemed like, oh, this is great, Mando season 3, where they're going to go with this. And then there's a certain part where it was like, I remember that episode with Jack Black and Lizzo. Right. And it kind of I think it threw all of us off, like, whoa, what?
We had just seen the Mario movie too, I think.
Right.
Yeah, so we were just like, okay, this is interesting. Yeah, that was the funny part. It's like we just saw him, we just heard Jack Black and, Super Mario Bros. So.
Was it the same day?
No. I don't know.
No,
it was close to that time, but not the same day. No,
it was around the same time. It might have been the week before that it came out. I think we remember, and Dad, I know you can fill in too, because this kind of will go in. We'll jump back into the Star Wars once we get to Ahsoka, guys. That's later on. But I think we started to sense the tempering of like potential studios in there, and so that's frustrating, you know, on a creative level when you feel that, especially when the first 2 seasons felt so unique and rich. And I mean, of course, the show will evolve, right? Yeah. But with such a strong ending to season 2, I mean, such a strong ending, you know, and I think the issues actually didn't begin with season 3 of Mando. I think they might have begun with Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, Book of Boba Fett.
You know, I think you could have made Book of Boba Fett, because even people will agree there. I think the first 2 or 3 episodes were just so great. There was this rich, like, you know, creating a rich history to Boba Fett and making him this character that has like this amazing depth and arc. Yeah. But then it became something else. Then it's like Mando hijacked Boba Fett's thing, and so it's like they couldn't decide. It's almost like they didn't have enough faith to
just
let
tell
Boba Fett be its own
Fett's
thing.
Story, yeah.
It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
But nonetheless, we still enjoyed Boba Fett. We definitely, I mean, it was Star Wars, you know.
Yeah, because you have to find the. I mean, given that this is the content we're getting, especially because we love Star Wars so much, you have to try to find some light, some good in the mix of the mess that sometimes it is. And so I mean, I enjoy the theme of the show. I thought it was really like the musical theme. And then certain moments. But it's definitely, you know, when they start bringing back the child after season 2, I started to get very suspicious there, because I was like, well, you know, a certain, you know, I know Disney in the past likes to have those characters that you can get as a toy. And I'm not saying this because it's the truth. It's, you know, you look at the shelves and it's a big, huge selling point. One that I've loved to participate in. I mean, I have a Wally toy. I have a Lotso toy, which you gifted me very kindly. I have an Oswald. Like, there's tons of characters that I love having as stuffed animals. But you can just kind of pick up on it, especially in something like a Star Wars as opposed to like an animated movie. So, and that's a different conversation, but you talking about us sensing suspicions of like kind of the what did you say? Producer.
Yeah, the studios infiltrating.
Studios infiltrating the creative and just their ideas to sell. It started to feel very sticky, kind of just like what are we participating in? What is this? So that definitely was the start there for me. Yeah. But yes, we can keep going. Back on track.
But no, season 3 of Mando, regardless, we still had a great time reacting to it. There was a lot of great moments that we loved putting, you know, on camera, recording, and then just sharing with you. And I think we've really appreciated the conversations we have about about Star Wars.
Mando season 3. I loved how out there and how absolutely out of the box they were thinking. I think one thing that happened with Mando season 2 was every scene, a lot of the scenes, because it's been a while and I might have forgotten about one, and I don't want to get. I'm sure there's some in there that are great, but in season 3, there was a lot of sequences that made you feel like you were not in the volume. It made you feel like you were out and about, and like the action sequences of when they went back to Mandalore, when they're doing
those battles in the sky,
battles in the sky, and that happened multiple times.
No, there was some
that seamless transition. Even though CGI artists might be like, that's kind of there was the idea, the creative risk of going beyond what the volume can handle, or what might not be as seamless. Like, they just wrote it and they had it as it was, and it felt like the Clone Wars days in that sense. So I thought I'd mention that about Mandalorian season 3, because I really did enjoy that factor.
Yeah, that was great.
It's also, I think there's you know, the element of like Zeb being in there, you know, really cool things that they clearly were building and being intentional about specific things. It just, again, I think we can go on and on about it, but we still definitely enjoyed it. After that, we watched Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves in theaters.
Oh man,
that was. What did you think about that movie, Dad? I'll let you start about that one.
Well,
because you didn't
I could go on that. I'm curious, because I want to ask my love. because I don't know how you felt going into it. I was kind of ready to like it because it had some fantasy elements to it, and I'd seen the trailer and it looked funny. I was a little skeptical, but I don't know. I think a lot of the experience was a lot more enjoyable seeing your reaction to it. So, what do you remember how?
My reaction.
Well, to the movie, like to the unexpected greatness, I would say. I don't know. It was so fun.
Guardians, you mean?
Dungeons and
Dragons. Sorry, I was on another cloud when you said that.
It's close though. Those both came out.
Dungeons and Dragons. I was mostly hyped because of I think Stranger Things kind of opened us up to what that was, kind of. And then we had a conversation with Dean, one of our super amazing first Phoenix fan of our channel, and our friend.
Dean.
He also kind of talked to us about the game. So going in, I knew we would have a good time watching it.
Yeah.
I didn't really have high standards because I was like, I don't know what this is gonna be. This might just flop, and I don't want to go in with high expectations.
Right.
But it was so fun. I don't laugh in movies very easily. Sometimes humor, I'm like, oh, that's kind of stupid. But this one was really, really cool. Yeah. It's a movie that we even went to a cabin in September, and we found ourselves watching it again.
Jonathan!
And like, if the movie was on TV, I would probably watch it again. Like, it's an enjoyable movie. So it was really fun, and I really hope they make another one. I think they are going to.
I think they are making one.
Because it was fun. I loved it.
It was interesting. I don't know if this is what you're going to probably say, but
it was out there, but I liked it.
And we did a review to this, but it felt like a breath of fresh air and excitement in the sense that it was one of those first movies that wasn't a superhero movie that gave us like a new experience. That
a
was
new instrument of music.
Yeah.
The soundtrack, it took really, like, we watched Lord of the Rings last year in theaters. Was that last year or this year? Last year,
2022.
And there are sounds that are just not used anymore in soundtracks. Like, and in terms of the mainstream, like it's very similar sounds, but the very Hans Zimmer-esque type of music that escalates, which undeniably is powerful and does a lot of work because it's worked.
It also took me back to like our old school movies love of like Princess Bride.
Yes.
And like these stories that just are so original, and I love that. It was really fun to watch.
I know for me, I was very excited to watch the movie because there was a Lent in our Catholic calendar, that Lent and the time of Jesus in the desert and fasting and giving alms and all these things. I gave up video games. And I filled that void with learning
40 days.
40 days about
40 nights.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
No video games.
which was
that was huge.
Very, very much helped because I started to learn about D&D and the stories that we can tell with our own minds, and I dove into that, and it was very fun. I started to build my own campaign, and which is a lot. Being a dungeon master is not as easy as some people make it seem.
You were great at it though when we played.
Thank you.
Did a great job.
Thank you. But it's all of this to say, it was around that time when trailers started to come out about a Dungeons and Dragons movie, and so as I'm learning more and more about this thing, Dungeons and Dragons, this movie's coming out, and there's more things I'm picking up on, like the Underdark and the same paladins and the same type of creature as a Vecna, and that's the Mind Flayer is in the Underdark, and all these different things that are very fascinating. The tongue with a chest with a tongue, that panther, like all of it just started to connect. And the different characters and who they were, and so it all was very. I was hyped. I was very hyper to see this movie, and then it came and it was there, and it was just a blast. The actors were all they all believed it, and it just even though there's some little reminiscences of it being in the area of where movies are today, it still felt so fresh and so new. And I loved it.
It also had the possibility of not doing well if they were focusing on just like, showing the D&D world come to life, but then the story wasn't really good. But it's like the story had really good heart in it, and I think that's what was so beautiful about it, is because despite D&D, a topic that can take people out of it because of how complex it can be. When you have a grounded actors, grounded storytelling, really perfectly timed comedy, it's bearable for everybody. So
hey Josh, what's your dex?
Carlos.
Roll for charisma, please.
Someone above was asking about our favorite Star Wars scene.
Oh my gosh.
See it, Matthew.
Thank you for that. What's your dex? What's your dex?
We still have to try to play.
Okay, yes, let's go through some of these comments.
He just has a pillow.
Let me see.
Someone asked about
Great
Star
point. I thought bringing back Grogu was a massive catch grab and it wasted his character arc in a way. Yes, you could definitely say that. I can see what you mean. GTA homie raps. Hey guys. Hey GTA homie raps. Do not watch Animals starring Ranbir Kapoor. Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah, it was interesting because I saw a lot of comments telling us to watch the trailer, and then I went to go see the reviews on IMDb, and I was like, this is not adding up. So
can you tell us?
Let us know because
why?
Yeah, tell us why. Because I also saw that people were saying the same thing about Jawan. But we loved
Jawan. We watched it. Sorry, we don't agree with you.
We loved Jawan. Like, Jawan was amazing.
If you have not seen our review, we saw that movie so late, and my beautiful bride struggles. She struggles to be watching a movie late.
People driving by would have thought I was, like, on something.
Oh,
I was so hyper and excited.
But you were on something. It's called Jawan. It was such a great experience.
Yes. I absolutely love how they did not hold back with the volume of that movie.
Yes.
Every sound was like, dude, like if you don't watch it in theaters, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Please watch our reaction.
Now, if you can't see it in theaters, then that's that's okay. That's fine. But if you can, if you were able to,
yeah, man,
it was a lot of fun. I
think
for
sure. Zykeem Porter says, I still don't understand D&D even when I watch Stranger Things. I know it's a campaign, but I don't know how the game works. Yeah, it's exactly. It's very complicated. I still don't fully understand it. We have some family friends that helped us.
Yeah.
I think every person that plays D&D plays it differently. There's people that go all it's different. There's different pools within the pool of D&D. And so the people that I think what we've been more fascinated with is how, people like even the Duffer Brothers or J.R.R. Tolkien, like there's those elements of creating a story and world building and myth making.
J.R.R. Tolkien
came first. Yes. Right, but as fans of Lord of the Rings, right, the fact that D&D comes from the foundation that Tolkien built, right, it's like we just love that aspect and how, I think even in your book about world building and the guide to building the worlds, there is a lot to learn as a storyteller. Like, how do you build a myth and a story that actually lasts, that is rich, that is dense, that has depth, it's
and
not
that
just
characters can live in, and if your characters can live in it, then so can your audience. Like there's things that you learn about world building and creating a setting for these characters that will just come to life and do whatever they want.
Right.
And then your audience will be along for the ride. I think that's a very big takeaway. I think the numbers and the dice and the amount of things to think about scare people, but in reality it's a lot. It comes down to having a structured way to play pretend,
right?
Yeah,
pretty much,
and you feel like a kid again.
And
so I think that's a very easy way to put it.
It invites people that don't necessarily operate from a creative standpoint to, for a moment, suspend their suspend their imagination into this place of believing in something they normally don't. And, I think for a lot of people who are a lot more logical and enjoy numbers, it could actually be fun that you're playing with a die and you have to consider points and attack points.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of mixing this world of like, well, I still get to calculate like I do every day in my life, but I'm also a paladin with like elven ears. How cool. So, I think it's a thing I would love for us to do more next year.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the highlights of that movie.
Definitely.
Was the paladin.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was dying.
Oh my gosh.
So fun.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was hilarious.
Omega095. Hey MaJeliv, I missed you all. Sonic 3 next year. Yes, Sonic 3. Oh. Very exciting. Shadow. Oh man, very, very exciting.
Those movies are fun. I mean, they
were really well done.
Like, I'm so excited to see the next one.
After they changed the look from Cat in the Hat to the Sonic that we got, I mean, you cannot go. Sonic was amazing.
I think the most exciting part is
the first one.
Right, but after the first one, they announced Tails.
Right.
And then they come out with this new trailer, and Knuckles is in it.
Too, yeah.
Right? So it makes you wonder. They announced Shadow. If you haven't seen Sonic 2, sorry about that. But they announced Shadow. but it makes you wonder, you know, who else is gonna show up?
Who else is gonna show up? My God.
Silver. You have Amy. I mean, there's a lot you can choose from.
Yeah, Blaze, I think.
For
Blaze.
sure.
Yeah. I don't know what game she was in. But.
And
Crisis
just like
City.
with Mario, I think watching Sonic just brings back this childhood core memory.
Yeah.
Like the music, the scenery, like the sets, like the environment of just the visuals just really stay authentic to what we grew up around.
Right.
And it just, I don't know, you just feel like a kid again watching those movies. So Sonic was
Absolutely. No, definitely.
I was screaming. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Sonic 2, thank you.
Yes.
For turning me into a 12-year-old again. That was amazing. 12, 13? I don't know how it was when I started playing. But anyway, I loved it.
No, it was fantastic. It was great. But yeah, so after D&D, I think the last reaction that we did after that was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh my gosh.
Which was, I mean, I think
Everything Everywhere All
that movie, man, was quite the trip, quite the experience. It had us talking a lot. It was not at all what
I've
we
never
expected.
cried and laughed in a movie.
The same way.
And felt so awkward because there was comments about how watching that with your parents must be so weird. Listen, watching it with your kids is equally as weird. The things in that movie, a part of me, I was like, okay, this is a great film. Like, there's a lot of cool things to it, but I just couldn't believe sometimes that at moments that we were sitting with our three kids watching that.
Yeah.
If I may be a little transparent and honest here, the only thing I wish I could change about that whole experience with watching that movie, our lives were so busy at the time. We actually got someone to help us edit that, and the way they edited it was not the way that we like to edit our stuff. Yeah. Matthew did not touch that editing, and one of the things that drove me to a bit of aching in my heart is that there were scenes that we didn't get to show our reaction to big scenes, like big moments, like the scene between the husband and the wife, but in that
like
alternate
the laundry.
Yeah,
laundry
so
bottle.
you know those things like that. That's the only thing I makes me a little sad because. I'll be honest.
I mean, they can see it in the uncut, but yeah, I guess in the edited, you're right. Like highlighted, it's
right.
It's a big moment, yeah, for sure, yeah.
But that's it. I mean, thank God, that's it. Like the rest of it, the whole experience, it was uncomfortable. I mean,
but kind of, but it was also fun to laugh.
Yeah.
Because of the
It
awkwardness.
was more like, where was it going? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so random.
We've experienced our fair share of, we saw The Office together in its entirety.
True.
Yeah.
And, fun. I think that kind of, things like that, really, I think the theme of the movie, if you get to that finish line of the film, you truly you sit back into reality and you realize that this craziness, this multiverse of thoughts and complications of the world, and it all is grounded in family, in love, and in who we are and our identity. And so it's beautiful that we got to sit here and witness this, because it was even though it was a little awkward, it's just little doses of what reality is like, what madness the world can hold. Yeah. So the fact that we were all able to experience it together was beautiful. I mean, I loved it.
The messages within the movie, but also the conversations we had after. It was, like you said, Josh, just a masterpiece in what we learned from it and what we got from it. People would be like, really? What are you talking about? This was, but man, we love to pull these beautiful, precious gems from movies, and that one had a lot of them.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy to think too, because you watch that, and I know the actor, I'm gonna butcher his name, Ke-Huy Quan.
Yeah.
Or Ki-Huy Quan. Anyways,
oh my God.
He was getting awards, and then we found out he was gonna be in Loki. It was just so exciting to see him again.
Now he's in Kung Fu Panda 4, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What a comeback! I mean,
so
my
wonderful.
Goodness, what a story!
That's in our reaction. No, was it? What? It might not be in. I'm not sure if it's in our reaction or not, but. That really did tug at my heartstrings. His performance. I mean, the way that he just was authentically himself, and the way that character was him, and now people are writing things for him to be that character, because he has a way of living he just wears his heart on his sleeve. Yeah. You know, even in Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, he's like, the stakes are so high,
and Data and
he believes all of it, and it sucks you in.
It's so beautiful to see that little kid still in him.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the most emotional part, at least for me, when seeing him like now an adult and like, you know, years have passed and it's like you still see that little kid in him. It's a magical thing to see because you don't see it often. So.
Yeah,
it's wonderful performance in Loki as well. But
no, I'm just saying some comments here. There's Omega Zero. It has to be Amy. It says Amy might be in Sonic 3.
So an Amy ship needs to happen.
Lagan, yes. So Asish, Lagan is on our list. It's actually one of the next ones that we want to see. We just know it's like almost 4 hours long, so we just have to find the right time to sit down, and we definitely are all about trying to get that down.
And it's not so much about the movie, watching that, but it's the editing process to get it to you. Yeah. The longer the movie, the longer it's going to take for us to get it out. So we're trying to just choose which one to start with, because there's so many great ones.
But that's actually one of the ones we really wanted to see up next. So.
For sure. So
it's on there.
Definitely.
Should we address some of these questions and comments before we move on?
Well, the other one is, do you guys know that there's a Karate Kid movie coming out in 2024?
Yes,
we did. We didn't know about 2024 though. I didn't realize it was coming that soon. I don't know when it's coming out. But
we were talking about that.
Oh, I guess you guys hadn't gotten here yet, but yes, we were talking about how that'd be really cool to see how they bring them together. Are they going to combine both stories?
The whole Jackie Chan and Ralph
Right, are they going to is Daniel
LaRusso
is Daniel LaRusso going to be in both Cobra Kai and that? Like, are they going to be the same shared universe? I hope so. If they're building
I think they will. The little teaser they gave.
Like, if they somehow make it so that Mr. Miyagi knew Mr. Wan, like, that would be amazing. Are you kidding me right now? Like, that would be, and then we get some like young, like, you know, that'd be.
So there was a giant casting call set out, and a lot of you probably saw
recently.
But I think the lead will be a Chinese American kid, I believe, or it's a Chinese kid that comes over to the States, and doesn't speak English. I don't know which way they'll go. It'll be very interesting.
But they clearly are looking. They're looking for somebody that, has martial arts skills. Like they clearly want someone that knows what they're doing.
I think. If it comes out next year, it would have to be, like,
the end of the year.
Because if they cast,
maybe they're filming next year.
That might be it.
Nonetheless, it's really.
Although a movie like that,
I'm sure it slowed things down. So they probably haven't revealed one, but they may extend it, because of the strike. But it would be nice if it's 2024.
No, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Spotter, I don't know how to say it. Everything Ever All at Once was superb. It broke me at the end. The emotion was immensely beautiful. Yes, very beautiful. Mark says, I love your family. I still rewatch your reaction to Mandalorian Season 2 ending all the time. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for the support. We really appreciate it. And your presence on the channel. That reaction to this day is one of our favorites. It's just...
Yep.
Every time we go back, we get emotional watching it again because we just remember what it was like to watch that and then to watch it together.
Such
especially,
a gift to have that moment.
Yeah, man, what a moment. For sure.
I think with any reaction, I know I've caught myself going back and watching people's reactions to the Breath of the Wild 2017 announcement trailer, like that final trailer, the story trailer. Because it does tug a heartstring, and it's a reminder of that feeling that we had experiencing it for the first time. And so the fact that I think that's one reason that it's amazing to have this channel and to share our reactions with you guys is because, I mean, even we go back and revisit some things on our channel that to remember, you know, those little moments, those things that we might forget about in the craziness of what's going on in life. And it just feels really comforting to know that emotionally we've experienced those things, that we are capable of experiencing happiness, sadness, and it's just a breath of fresh air to know that you can share that with someone. So it's really so great that you are here to be able to go back and see that reaction, especially because it is touching at the heart of where Star Wars is, which is why I think some of the tampering is heartbreaking. But the focus is where does the heart of the stories lie? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can.
No, absolutely.
So really quick update. I got it. Sorry, don't lose your thought, please. My sister was kind enough to send this article. Looks like the Karate Kid 2024 movie. The release date was moved to December 13th of 2024, which gives him plenty of time to film.
Well, I was gonna say a movie like that probably doesn't have that much CGI. Like movies that are more like it can go a lot faster. So
Right.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I imagine the preparation like
They probably have been prepping.
Like take longer.
They probably have been prepping and just waiting for things to. Because now everything is up and running. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably have been filming.
Right.
But it's a movie, not a show, so it should be faster.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure. But regardless, it's a lot of fun. I mean, the fact that we get to, it's gonna be great.
That's really exciting.
Let's see here. So after Everything Everywhere All at Once, again, it's just kind of around the time where we started doing uncut watch-alongs. So then we watched, Alien. I forgot what year that was, but that dude, Alien.
That was amazing.
Directed by Ridley Scott. That was quite the movie. Quite the reaction as well. Man, if you guys haven't seen that reaction, definitely recommend. But it was
wow. My eyes started twitching just now.
Yeah. It was a lot. I think,
not that it's bad, but that was
definitely educational. It was educational. We definitely learned a lot in terms of suspense and horror. As artists. But we definitely are excited to jump into Aliens, the second one, directed by James Cameron. And specifically the director's cut, so the longer version. So definitely stay tuned for that. We definitely want to jump into that in this upcoming year. So stay tuned for that. After that, we saw Guardians Volume 3, which was, I think, a great way to end the Guardians story. Definitely one of the more like...
We were worried about it, but we were glad it ended.
Yeah, I think James Gunn was able to finish his story.
See that one twice. And my goodness.
Yeah, it was definitely great. It ended it in a really great way where they honored the characters, and it still was a solid movie in terms of compared to some of the other. It's felt like it's been hit or miss with something.
And it put on display how they've changed, how they've
how it's
stayed
evolved,
the same, but also how the characters have gone through things and they've experienced things that have changed who they are, and they were able to really hit at that, especially with a character like Rocket, who has always been so it's. There's not a lot of if you know you know, if you know you know. That's all. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that one.
Quick correction: the article was sent to me by my brother, Carlos. Thank you, man. Sorry, I apologize. I appreciate the info though. You're amazing.
Yes. And we love Felipe and Mateo very, very
much.
We love you.
Love you. Awesome.
My little nephew dance.
It's been months. I really need Miss Shin Hati back. Shin Hati, yeah. But Shin Hati, because people think she's pretty. Shin Hati. That's Balin's apprentice.
Okay.
Need Ahsoka season 2 ASAP. Right.
I know she had
I think she's.
Are we talking about Ahsoka now?
Yeah. Just because that quick comment, I was just mentioning it.
Okay.
Definitely a very interesting character. We'll talk about that later in a second. So stay tuned for that.
That's so fascinating.
Matthew's trying to get through these because
I'm trying to because it's not just an hour. Like I know we have still a lot. I'm seeing the list. A Man Called Otto was after Guardians Volume 3, which was one that we actually didn't expect to react to. We had a family member tell us, you guys need to watch this movie. And it had a very, sensitive subject, but we definitely loved it. It's Tom Hanks. Billy? It was our grandma recommended it to us.
Billy.
Our Billy. She will kill us.
She wouldn't do that.
She wouldn't kill us, but she would
give a look.
Yes. And
the squint.
And not give us maduros for like
Billy is a
while.
Yeah.
Whoa! Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Just want to say thank you for all the years. I feel you lot were one of the OG reactioners.
So
thank you for all the passion and honesty. Enjoy Matrix 3 and 4. Hope you follow the new DC. And have you done Maverick? Well, first, thank you for. It sounds like you've been watching us for a while, so we really appreciate you sticking with us. It definitely has been surreal to now be doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Looking back, especially when. I think reacting kind of picked up a lot after Avengers. I think reactions were a thing, but after such an exciting thing. It got even, kind of blew up in a way. So we appreciate you sticking with us and for, your patience and your support. And yeah, we'll get to Matrix in a second. About what we've been thinking about all that. We definitely are eager to watch the third one and continue on that Matrix journey. And then, the new DC stuff we definitely are excited for. Yeah. And Maverick, I think you're referring to Top Gun Maverick. We have seen Top Gun Maverick. We never did a reaction to it because we kind of saw it, impromptu. And
Guardians Volume 3 was a huge indicator of my excitement, and I'm sure for all of us, of what DC will look like in the coming future.
Gotcha.
That's where I'm. Oh, sound.
Oh, yeah.
What was
sound.
that?
I'm not sure. Oh, that's it just got updated.
Oh,
very nice.
Oh,
very
there's
different.
Wonka.
Little Wonka.
Oh, little Wonka here.
Timothy.
Right there. Oh, there he goes.
There he goes.
Yeah.
I love that movie, by the way.
But essentially, I think it's very exciting to see what that will look like, especially because of characters like Superman and Batman, and Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. I mean, such iconic superheroes, and for them to finally get a chance to be told in a different light. There's such rich characters that any character can be rich. I mean, like I could make this water bottle the hero of some epic tale, and if I tell the story right, you're gonna love it. Yep. Same with the characters. If you treat it as a water bottle, it's a water bottle. But if you make it some fantastical being that has been trapped inside of this water bottle for decades and is now free because this wizard that had been holding it under a spell for so long had died, and now is able to come back.
You might give him like a billionaire.
Right, sorry.
$1 billion.
That one's being saved for another time.
But you're right. You're very right.
But essentially, I know that James Gunn is excited to tell these stories and the people he'll be working with to do so. So, in short, after a long tangent, DC is looking very bright.
I think overall the bigger question is we're curious how the whole genre evolves, because it definitely seems like there's been that question looming of superhero fatigue. And someone mentioned here, highlight was when you were on Ms. Marvel. I remember we all felt a sense of, hey, we know that guy. Well, I'm glad you felt that. And yes, that definitely has been a highlight. I mean, in full circle, the fact that we started a lot of what we did here on this channel with the Avengers Infinity War reaction, and the fact that my dad and I were blessed enough to be able to work on Marvel projects, in different forms, but yeah, it was just surreal to be able to sit and watch work on Ms. Marvel, and that was such a great and amazing experience. We loved Ms. Marvel too.
Yeah, it was great.
And again, as Marvel fans, as growing up watching it, of course we hope the best for Marvel, and we want them to keep telling great stories.
We still are. Yeah, we're rooting for Marvel. That's for sure. It's just it's been quite the rocky road. That's for sure. But anyway, to that point, yes, thank you, and I'm glad. I think overall, I'm glad that we got to experience that together. It just felt really great to share all of that with you, for sure. That's what I was most excited for. Even while I was on set working on it, it was like, dude, this is crazy. I actually had, it was so funny because, you're on set, and then I think I had 2 people come up to me hey, you're from YouTube, right? You're on Marvel set now. That's wild. So that was definitely the thing that I was extremely excited about. Because, the truth be told, in acting, when you're on set, there's just things that you don't know what might get cut out, what might change. Especially on something like Marvel, where they sometimes rewrite scripts for the sake of just secrecy, right? So it was really hard to know what was going on, and so to really be able to just sit down and watch that with all of you is surreal.
Well, that's why yours was more exciting, because technically I have done 2 Marvel projects.
Oh my gosh,
true.
That's right.
And one of them, none of us will ever see, because it got completely cut and changed. It's just the way it is. The other project that I did, you have to find me and then not blink for a good 7 seconds, because then I'm gone. Right. So when we started to be a part of the filming process, both of us, I was kind of at the end moment where he started, he turned 18. You got to be on set with him, and so did I. We started to realize, there's a high chance that this footage will make it into the show. So but you just never know.
And you're also in Atlanta filming, right? You don't think of when you see Marvel, you're like, oh wow, this is so close,
right?
And for me, I had the opportunity, thank God, to go with Matthew a few times. He was kind enough to let me go because I know he was at that age where he can probably go by himself, but he was letting me enjoy that environment. But I walked into near Crafty's and I looked to my left and there's a chair with Kevin Feige's name on it.
So
and I'm just
pause.
What?
Crafty's is like a little eating area, like a little snack bar. But then you found a chair.
Yeah, like walking by his chair. I mean, he wasn't there that day. You know, he comes and goes, but
definitely is surreal.
That reality of like, oh my goodness, Matthew's filming, and I'm passing by Kevin Feige's chair, and we've been watching these Marvel movies for years.
That's
like,
amazing.
It's just
Huge
all
blessing,
glory
man.
to God.
And then him like not telling
us
us
for sure.
things,
But
like,
but yeah, it was just such one of those moments that you just like, oh my goodness, this is great.
Yes.
So sharing that with you guys and the joy that it brought you as well, like to be supporting Matthew and to be with us on that journey of our channel and the movies and our love for movies, like it just kind of brought things full circle for us.
Absolutely.
So it was beautiful.
Yeah. And then we have another fan that's been with us since Avengers Infinity War, Cheer the Reaction, Catbread. So hi Catbread, thank you for being with us. And then Paula Sens says there's another Joker movie coming out in 2024. That's coming out next year too. That's wild. That is nuts. I can't even. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Very curious about that.
Oh, that's the musical. Yeah, it's a sequel. That's
definitely. Okay, so let's keep going on this list.
It's musical.
It's a musical.
It's a musical.
And Joaquin Phoenix will be singing. That I want to see. I've never seen that. Maybe he has in the past, but it is a musical.
Very interesting.
That can go really badly.
I think it's
actually
going
to
it
be
can work
so
good,
but dark.
Oh yeah. Maybe.
I mean, how
sinister?
I've never seen.
How sinister could that be?
Well, it's like Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney
Todd is a dark musical.
like a dark musical.
Right. That's
it can
so
work though.
It can definitely
It's a new combination. It's like
especially
it's a dark musical, but villains.
It kind of ties it to
like superhero villains.
The way that in the first, the Batman by Tim Burton, that one, you have Joker like dancing, right, and then he's like about to poison the people.
Right. Yeah.
It's like
he's dancing.
There's something comedic about it.
It's comedic, but at the same time, it makes it super ironic and
contradicting.
Yes, and just I think that'll add some weight to it. Wow, fascinating.
I would have written a song titled something like "Why Did You Shun Me." Why did you shun me? All I wanted to do was smile.
Yeah,
Why did you shun me? I'm just a happy guy with a new gal. There it is. That's the musical version.
Yep,
I just gave you guys a very
profound
exclusive preview to Joker 2024. I was singing Lady Gaga.
If he doesn't sing like that, I'm not watching. No, I'm joking. Oh no, because anyway, so
I want to see it though. All jokes aside, I do want to see it.
Mom went to go blow her nose. But let's keep moving on. So after A Man Called Otto.
I love how you just shared that. That's amazing.
What?
Sorry, I've been sick.
We're clearing the nostril passage.
Healing the nasal
I
passages.
felt like I was talking like this, so I had to go clear.
Def-
It would be funny if you would talk like this just for a little bit.
Oh
Okay.
man. No, so after so A Man Called Otto, it was a movie by we kind of jumped into that.
Yeah.
Man Called Otto was amazing. We loved it. It was super heartfelt. It was such a intimate story. It's Tom Hanks, so naturally it's just we loved it. Tom Hanks is sensational, and then had a little cameo in that movie actually from one of the guys from Please Don't Destroy, who's the SNL skit.
Oh, that's right. He was in that. Yeah.
Hilarious little like, oh my gosh, it's you from Please Don't Destroy. But no, overall it was a really great movie. And solid, and even the family across the street, is all of it. So if you haven't seen it, definitely recommend. Definitely watch A Man Called Otto. After that, we saw Minal Murali, which was actually our first Malayalam film. So a movie from India, but it was from a different region in India. And so
The first superhero type movie.
What is it called again? Let's repeat it for people.
Minal Murali. For those of you that haven't seen it, it was our first Indian superhero movie, as well as our first Malayalam film. So that meaning that it was just a different region. And we've learned as we've watched more Indian cinema that every region has very different kinds of movies, or sometimes there's some areas that blend other elements of different regions and different industries in India. So, it's bigger than just what we over here call Bollywood. We've learned that there's just so much more. It's such a rich, So yeah, I mean,
There's a lot in the woods.
To the point where we try to not,
There's a lot in the woods.
Use Bollywood anymore because for some people in India, it's seen as like
just
B grade version of Hollywood, which is not true. There's a lot of movies in India that we've learned are amazing compared to what we get here in Hollywood sometimes. So, it was our first Malayalam film. The acting, it reminded us a little bit more of like the Telugu films that we had seen compared to like the Hindi films. But it was still sensational, and I mean, it was great. It was so fun. It was awesome. It was so fun, and again, it was different. It was different because you see even little different cultural things in that as well. So it was a really unique take on the superhero genre. That was really fun. And then after that, we did Across the Spider-Verse in theaters, which Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales. That was part 2. Part 3 is coming out this upcoming year, hopefully. I think it got delayed as well because of the strike, which we'll get to eventually. But, Across the Spider-Verse was great. We did a review on that.
Yeah. That's. There's enough said on that.
Enough said on that one.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's.
And then we watched The Matrix.
The Matrix for the first time, the very first one. That was a really big one for us because we had never seen it, and by us I meant the three of us. Our parents had seen it when they were, growing up. I think they were just, in high school still. Very different times, but also they were able to share a movie that, changed the film industry at that time. And being able to sit and watch it years later with us with new eyes. And then, it was just great. And meeting characters like Morpheus and seeing these moments that for a while had kind of been embedded into pop culture and stuff was really, really cool. And then to see how that movie on a cinematic scale and inspired things that came after was really, really cool. Was really just inspiring as well.
There was iconic things that when you see in movies, you always reference it back to Matrix because that's where it started, and it was such an impactful this is like the Matrix, like the walking. There's so many.
I mean, the backward bullet thing, right?
The falling thing,
Well, unfortunately, the only way I knew Matrix was through memes. Unfortunately. Yeah. But then being able to watch the whole film, I'm like, man, this is actually really cool.
Playing bowling when we were younger. There was like a little animation of the bowling pin
that's right.
Back,
and
the bowling ball was like flying past.
Yeah.
I think that was at Fergan and Kegler's, right?
Yeah, the Kegler as the Kegler.
Yes, but essentially that was as far back as I can remember, and I was little.
Right.
And I was like, what is it? So it's been a long time coming. It had been a long time coming, and we saw it.
Yeah.
And it was so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
The first one is so awesome.
The first one was fun.
Yeah.
We had a lot of thoughts on that second one.
Yeah, we had a lot of strong opinions on the second one.
Oh, yeah. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and I think, we'll get there. We'll get there.
If you want to see your comments,
it was still a lot of fun.
It
was still a lot of fun. You guys can watch our
It was
reaction. And we enjoyed watching the second one as well.
We make the best of the movies we watch.
It was still quite the experience on a cinematic level. So, so after The Matrix, we saw Barfi, which was another Indian film, which I think... Yeah, my dad said that. Yeah,
that's been the best one I've seen.
Yeah,
he's getting teary.
That's still my favorite movie.
Favorite Indian movie.
Indian movie. Yeah.
Indian cinema film that we've seen. For sure.
But not expected to be as good as it was. My goodness.
Barfi, man, such a great film.
Yeah.
And then after that, we saw. Let me see here. We saw Secret Invasion, I believe. Yes, after Barfi, we saw Secret Invasion.
A lot of mixed feelings with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Secret Invasion was interesting. We enjoyed it, but then it kind of it changed really quickly, and we also felt like, could this have been a movie? Could this have been longer? It felt like it was rushed. It felt like it had been edited.
Yeah.
It also felt like
they killed off a character so fast.
It also felt and it also felt like they were building up towards something. Or raising the stakes in a strange way, and how do you not bring other people in?
Yeah.
It just felt strange in that sense. It felt like it was just being... It didn't feel authentic and genuine in terms of what would have happened on an actual level, the
which
scale.
Movie?
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Okay, sorry. I drew blank because someone had mentioned Toy Story 5...
Yes.
And Frozen 3 and 4?
Frozen 3 has been, kind of...
And 4?
4 is not... They just talk... I mean, maybe, but I don't know about how confirmed it is. Maybe because they've seen it on the scales.
So I had the thought that maybe they would bring Tarzan and truly make this a reality. That's what I mean. I have Tarzan and Jane on my wall. Like I love Tarzan. So if you bring that back,
Tarzan is their long lost brother.
We love Tarzan.
The whole long lost brother Tarzan, related to the sister that the parents died on the ship and she was pregnant. I don't know. I think that would be cool.
That would be interesting.
So you think it's gonna be 2 parts, 3 and 4?
Sorry,
the story is there.
That put me down.
I know they announced a Frozen.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Did they talk about a concept like what it would be about?
No, they just announced it was
Frozen
Endgame.
Okay, they did such an amazing job with Frozen 2.
Frozen, Frostbite.
I just hope it's
Samantha.
as good or better.
Yeah,
The
I just
search
hope
for
it's
Samantha.
they did a risk of making it unique in its own thing, not trying to recreate things from the first movie. And I mean, we loved it. We loved the authenticity of it. Some people were like, nah, it was,
Yeah.
But I honestly love the second one more than the first, if I'm being 100% honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope they stick to their gut and make it just its own thing, not trying to replicate anything or, because the more unique it is, the more memorable it is. And for me, the second one was very memorable. I mean, the first one I was obsessed with when it came out. So that was that was a phase. So we'll see. I mean, I'm curious to see what else. I mean, I know Elsa, maybe she has more as a character to explore. I mean, she discovered a lot in the second one, so we'll see. We'll see what that
Hopefully
brings.
the last movie is titled Unfrozen.
Maybe Olaf can find out who Samantha is.
Thawing.
Remember?
Yeah. Samantha.
He's like, I don't even know
Maybe
what's Samantha.
Samantha.
Oh my gosh.
That's what
What is
the
it
fourth
called?
movie.
Someone said, yeah. That's hilarious. No, and also just to acknowledge his comment, is it Zora High? Please react to Pakistani movies. Yeah, thank you for the recommendation.
Well, I think specify your recommendation.
Yeah, if you want to,
if
there's
you have any
specific
favorites,
movies
let
that
us
you
know.
want us to look at or look into.
Yes.
Let us know.
Give us
Let us know.
Because I
Give us
imagine
titles so we can look into it and
Yes.
if there's one you have in mind, just let us know.
Let us know.
We'll research and see if that's something we'd like to react to.
Yep. So story, themes, all of that is.
We see you. Don't worry.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, we can probably acknowledge some of these in a second. Let's just keep going on the list.
Yes.
Oh, but it's just said Barfi, my favorite love story movie. Barfi was and is the ideal love for me, man. Oh, dude, yeah, that movie. God, it was just so good. It was so good, and it's like, it just clearly whoever made it, the creators behind it, loved cinema. They loved film. They loved the medium of it. They loved the.
There was like some
and
Charlie
there was
Chaplin stuff.
so many like
Not
love
just
letters
some,
to
Jimmy.
different.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
And it was beautifully inspired by.
Oh, KP, hello KP. You guys should definitely react to Solar. Yes, we've seen that. There's been trailers for that. I don't know if it's out already. I think it is out. So that's interesting. But yeah, you definitely have to look into that. So we were on Secret Invasion, which I make this quick. Dad, I'll let you summarize this because I remember as we were watching it, we were all enjoying it. We thought this was interesting. This is really cool. But then at a certain point, it shifted. Or when did it shift for you? Because I think we all appreciated like the acting and obviously the performances. I mean, you have the likes of like Olivia Colman and Emilia Clarke on a show like Secret Invasion. What did you really like about it? What were some missed opportunities that you saw? Especially now, like in hindsight.
Well, great question. The thing I remember the most is indeed the performances and how strong they were. Those actors took exactly what they were given and they made it very rich. The whole show does feel disjointed to the rest of the universe that we knew, and I think that might be what's making me laugh.
Her little arm.
Oh, her little Drax arm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Going.
To me, it was interesting because I was willing to realize at some point this is very much a Samuel L. Jackson vehicle. It's really to show the Nick Fury perspective and the journey, and if you can, which it was hard to justify why the Avengers weren't there to help save the day with supposedly, when you think about the threat, it's massive. Like it didn't make complete sense to me why there's no one showing up, like literally no other Avenger showing up to help out. That was difficult to kind of put away from my reasoning of he shouldn't be operating on his own, but he is. But
I feel like if it would have come out earlier after Endgame, I think it would have felt more reasonable that there was nobody available. But after seeing movies like a Shang-Chi and a Doctor Strange and all these different films that have come out, it's like you have a plethora of options.
And it's also like
this could be done in a second if you wanted it to.
They've worked for so many years to build a cinematic universe. You know, you would think that they would utilize it a little bit more.
But you would have people argue, and to a point while we were watching it, I was kind of on the boat of, well, it kind of is nice to enjoy just a Marvel story. Maybe, because you would have these very strange, side story adventures in the comic books where you could buy a short series of three comics and that's it. That's like the chapter, right? So that's fine. But just to kind of close up, the thing that threw me off was the final battle. Yeah. When, like you said, that all these weird superpowers came through and became very cartoony at that point.
Well, it's also what I was going to get to is I agree with you. I think we've seen it in like shows like Moon Knight where it's separate and it's able to like thrive on its own. But when they build up the Secret Invasion to be this massive threat, it's just that as well. It's like, how do you not do that? It's a little. I think it's a little different. The stakes are different.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about a secret invasion like that at that scale. We're talking about like worse than Hydra. Okay. Do you remember what Hydra did to the Avengers? Like, that's the stakes we're talking about. How do you not bring in other people? So, and then things at the end, like deciding that Rhodey has been a Skrull since before, like since Civil War. It's like, okay, cool. But at that point, it seemed like they were just throwing stuff in for the sake of making things extra dramatic because there wasn't enough of that before.
They killed off Hope in the first episode, for crying out loud.
Was that? I mean, I don't know. That was never confirmed.
It was never confirmed. I mean, I think the director.
My hope was lost in that episode. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But anyway, I just think Secret Invasion was. Yeah, there was some really great moments. By the actors. The actors brought all of it. You got Ben Mendelsohn as well.
Yeah, living moment to moment, there are some really great things that had a great emotional weight. But
and the guy who played Gravik
at the end, Gravik, he went all in.
Dude, I'm telling you, like if he's not as good as he was, that show would have not been.
Yeah, right. Like, he felt like a threat, but I think that added to it. Mm-hmm. The fact that he died the way he did, it's like, dude, what do you mean? Yeah. There needs to be a kind of a sadness too, because Nick Fury did let him down in his fear, in his escape to space, which is ridiculous. Yeah. Why would you go up to space and then? But essentially, I think Gravik's death was so petty. It was disheartening. Yeah. I think his emotions, his weight, his effect on the world was just tossed to the side, and everyone was just gone. This base that was filled with Skrulls are just empty. The ball was dropped at the end, and in hindsight, there was a lot of moments and build-ups that the stakes were super high, and then we're down here again. Yeah. So,
and throughout Marvel, they were building up these whole Skrulls, right? We would see these end credits with Skrulls, and Captain Marvel had an involvement with that. But then you put this show on where there's no Captain Marvel helping, because now you have the Marvel's movie.
Same with Monica. Out. Why wasn't Monica
And Monica, there? You built her up in Wanda, and now you're like, okay, where did they go? But you're like almost holding them in this little box for the movie. But you're trying to create this thing here. It's just like, I don't know.
That's what I mean. You're excited about the movie if you involve them in other projects. That's what was exciting about Black Panther, for example. We met him for the first time in Civil War, and then we found out he's getting his own movie. We're like, yes, let's do
this.
There's
a sense of awesome. Unknown there.
Yeah, so it's like,
unpredictability.
Even with it's interesting too because again we haven't even watched the Marvels yet. But I know Kamala, like her character, if there's people who don't know a lot about Ms. Marvel because maybe say they haven't seen the show yet, they're going to be completely lost of who she is and what's going on. It's different if you introduce her in that movie and then, like, for example, if the show then happened. I mean, obviously it all happened the way it needed to, but I'm just saying it's curious how that's just kind of shifted over time when it worked so well with a character like Black Panther and the way he was introduced. Even Tom Holland's Spider-Man as well. It's very, very, very interesting. So they could have done that with Secret Invasions with that whole like for to hype up the Marvels, they could have added the Marvels in Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows? I mean, again, it just
point is Secret Invasion definitely was one of those shows that as we saw it, we're like, this is starting to feel this is interesting because again, I think like my dad said, as we watched it, we were like, wow, this is like so intense, and we were sucked in. I mean, we enjoyed it. But then in hindsight, we were like, interesting.
And it finished very similar to the way we were expecting it to finish, and I think that is just a sign that I think they didn't take any risks. I think if you stuck to the reality of what would Nick Fury truly do if put in that situation, given the things that we as an audience have experienced,
right?
You know, for him to just say, "Oh, I'm doing this on my own," I don't know. I think, like I said, the show played out exactly as expected, and it was boring. You know, I think that if you throw in some characters that kind of make it very unpredictable, and you add different things that are going on, you make it more dynamic and
well, that's just it. There was like again, there's the Olivia Colman's, the characters that were interesting. It just it was trying to do a lot, so it's just that like confusing feeling.
It doesn't have to be like, either or though. You can totally have some other characters come in, and it's still like adding Black Panther into Civil War. There was emotion there. There was a reason why he was there. He wasn't just there because they're planning to make a Black Panther movie, but it worked because his dad died in that bombing in that speech, and that's a major cataclysm for a lot of things, for a lot of characters in that movie. So it's like it's so interesting, and it requires incredible storytelling to be able to carry that through for so many characters, and then for other directors to carry that on. It's just it was different times, but we can keep going.
But no, see, that was Secret Invasion, and then if I'm remembering correctly, Dad, you could remind me, but I think around this time is when the actors' strike happened. Which we'll get to in a second when we get about our family recaps. So then after Secret Invasion, we saw Blue Beetle, which
that's when I had excitement for DC because I know after the Flash, I was like, whoa,
that movie, man,
that was a lot.
The Cholo Maridueña, leading that
Blue
movie
Beetle
and that cast.
So good.
It was so good. It was so great.
Loved it.
I was relieved to find out that in the whole revamp of DC, Blue Beetle will be preserved as is,
and reasonably so. I mean, it's
fantastic.
So that is a solid move.
Yep.
Very, very, very smart move.
It just felt so at home too. Just the culture and just the way the whole story was, and the reality.
We got to see that with my mom and my stepdad. It was
really fun. It was wonderful.
So fun.
So we had that. And then quick side note, thank you Zora Hai for the recommendations of Pakistani movies. We'll write those down. We appreciate it and look into them and definitely see if that's something we'd want to react to. But thank you nonetheless for sending that our way and for supporting our channel. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so after Blue Beetle, we saw Ahsoka. So now I feel like we're getting back on, like we're slowly.
Hello, Velociraptor. Yes. Hello, love from India. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we started Ahsoka. So we started Ahsoka, but then in between Ahsoka, I think Jawan and the Creator came out. So let's jump into Jawan and the Creator, which I guess we kind of talked about Jawan already. So the Creator was great. It was another one of those films that again was a very original story. Obviously had inspirations from different things, different kinds of films, but was still very much its own thing. And
that was exciting.
Gareth Edwards,
especially in the midst of the strike, it just made you think of what stories are possible. What other things can we be making and putting into the theaters, and especially the camera that he made the movie with, and the actors, and just kind of the way that it was such a twist on a fear that we as humanity have. A lot of, I think one of the main reasons for the strike was in fear of AI and what it can do. But I mean, the Creator was hinting at something so much greater than just AI. It's the reality of being a creation, being created, and how it's a paradox. It goes both ways. It really just depends on how we live, how we move forward, and how we remain at peace, and we don't blame each other for things, and because then it could end in catastrophe, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the fact that movie hit on such a bold theme, which is actually something that we've noticed in a lot of Indian cinema, was a lot bolder themes, especially in that what is it? PK, yeah. And I know that's a controversial movie.
3 Idiots too.
And 3 Idiots as well. I think that one is a lot more universal and a lot more like a lot more people can truly connect to that one. But that is a story that hits on a theme that is so delicate and so sensitive that it's like it really causes you to think, and it's done in such a genius way. I think the same would go for the creator, where of course with 3 Idiots we're allowed into that theme with laughing and comedy, and but then those moments of heaviness really land. But I think with the creator, I think what I'm trying to get at is the theme and the way that the story was told was truly a breath of fresh air, and I think just so unique.
I think with everything we were talking about with Marvel, all the superhero movies, I think we've learned these formulas in these movies where we're almost like they're able to be predicted, or we kind of know what's coming, or and seeing the creator was a breath of fresh air. It was like, wow, this is so original, something we haven't seen in a long time. It motivated us, it inspired us as creatives to really like create our own stories and write more and put into action all these great ideas we have. So it was an inspirational thing for us. I know you wanted to go for your birthday,
right?
And that was kind of what we did on his birthday. But yeah, it was inspiring. I think.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the word I would use too.
Yeah.
To just move forward, I think with less fear. I think even in the strike of actors and in life as well, we just have to love and be aware that we are created, and that we can create with hate or with love, and it's just inspiring.
What do we want to create, right?
Right.
It's
right.
So,
and what is the
great.
intention of creating it?
Right, exactly. And now moving into Ahsoka, because again Ahsoka started before that and then finished after. What are our thoughts on Ahsoka? I know I kind of went off on Mando season 3. So Dad, what do you?
Well, if you watched our reaction to Ahsoka, you will very quickly notice that the first 3 episodes, I was not impressed. I was very concerned, and I was very audible and honest about.
Except for one element, of course, which was Balin's skull. Yes,
correct. Right off the bat, that was the highlight.
Wonderful.
The shining gem of the whole thing. Unfortunately,
diamond in the rough.
Right.
Balin's skull and his apprentice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've lost Balin's. Well,
Ray Stevenson.
Thank you. And so that part of it is quite tragic, because that is the most fascinating part of that lore of Star Wars. I feel like Ahsoka came full circle at the end for me, but the way it started, the way it was executed, I'm gonna echo a lot of what I said, and I stand by it. And as an actor, I say this: I'll speak for myself. I hold myself accountable when I am given the job to show up to a movie set to tell a story. I have to come in with my very deep and hopefully elaborate, specific interpretation of the character I've been given to take care of and to portray to the fullest honesty possible. Now, my job is to then collaborate with the director and come to terms with, okay, how do we give this character full life, the full spectrum of life? And I don't feel like that's what happened in the very beginning of the show.
Yeah.
I was forgiving with where certain characters started and where they ended, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt. But I know for a fact, and God knows this, if I were to be given that sort of opportunity, my goodness, I would come in guns blazing. I would come in with passion and fire and understanding of what the task is of my character, and I would sit with the creatives that are, and we would make sure we do it justice. Loki. I won't say more. I mean, Loki showed it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done.
Can.
Right? You come in with a full understanding of what you're passionate about as the character, as Loki. Right? And then you look at the characters in Ahsoka, and I'm juxtaposing those two because you've got the same kind of power in the lore, but in Ahsoka you had these 3 episodes that they were quite frankly emotionally boring, stale, stagnant. There was no real, like, if I had no idea who these characters were, I didn't have a reason to care. I didn't. And then
I found myself trying to care, like,
right,
that's Ezra, but
right.
I'm not, and Sabine, but
right.
it was, yeah.
But yes, Ahsoka gets her. She goes through her journey of Gandalf the Great to like Gandalf the White. That was fascinating to watch. I think Rosario Dawson eventually did do justice to the story of Ahsoka. So I said all this in the reactions. But all in all, I liked the show. I didn't love the show. I would watch it again. It's fun. It's Star Wars.
I would watch
episode
Loki
5,
again.
episode 4 and 5, like 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, episode 5 was something as a Star Wars fan that was just so surreal to watch. To be able to see Anakin come back, to see Anakin and Ahsoka together in live action, and the Clone Wars, like all of that was just so special, and that was a huge gift for us, you know. As in the moment, right, as we're watching it, and you can watch our reaction. I mean, I was crying. We were all emotional. It was just, I mean, to see Hayden Christensen, and you know that he's been so grateful. He's one of those actors that, to this day, you see it in every interview, every conversation he's had, the amount of gratitude and of what it means to have played the role that he did, to be Anakin Skywalker, to be Darth Vader, and to know what those characters mean for so many people, and also the first circle moment that for a long time he was, you know, hated on and thrown all this crap that was completely unjustifiable and unnecessary, and so this full circle moment where he's able to shine and just, you know, be Anakin, be who he is. It was just really great. And that's the character I grew up loving. The prequels are what I grew up with. Yeah. You know, and so that was great to mention, and to hear Anakin's name in a Disney Star Wars project was fantastic. In a live action project, you know, I was baffled that, you know, they kept holding Luke's lightsaber, which is really Anakin's lightsaber, and not mention his name. Especially if Rey's the new chosen one, how does Luke or no one mention Anakin to Rey? You know, it's just basic lore stuff, you know.
And it goes down to
so anyway, I'm digressing. That's more of an emotional story thing. Ahsoka was just a great moment for Anakin in that sense. But to your point, Dad, that can only take a show so far. You know, and there's obviously shows like Ahsoka that have their high moments and then lower moments. The middle of the show, the climax, was definitely some of the more higher stuff, because then Ahsoka became Ahsoka the White, if you will, and had those moments where Rosario Dawson really, you know, did come through, like you were saying. So
even Ezra too, and then Sabine also found
Sabine
her
she started to,
a fair footing in the finale, I would say. The finale had some great moments, and I found that in action. Not the still scenes, in action. So the actors who played Sabine actually did breathe a little more, because it's one of those things that you have to react to.
Well, yeah, you have to do something.
You
That's
have
why
to
they
react
say,
to it.
give your actor something to do.
Whereas a scene, if you're talking to Ahsoka, it's easier to be like, oh, this is just my teacher, and I'm just kind of mad at her because she, you know,
hurt my feelings
in the past. It's easy to do that. The harder work, I would say, is in those moments, because it's very easy to lose. I mean, it lost us with just the emotions, because those scenes are harder to do.
I mean, even as actors, we know those scenes are harder. Like, it's harder to do. It's hard. It's easier to get into your head.
Yeah.
But if you're like being tossed around in a ship and you're feeling lights and you're moving, even though there might be a blue screen in front of you, which it's the volume, so they didn't have a blue screen, so that even added to it. You know, if you're going into hyperspace and you're seeing come on.
You also get out of your head anything of like, how do I look in this moment? Am I doing this right? It's like, no, you're just living.
And if zombie stormtroopers
are
about to chew at your neck, you're gonna react the way that you would authentically react. It's gonna come out. So she breathed more in those moments where there was a lot going on, because she could not help but being herself, which is what we want. This is even though we're seeing Sabine, we're seeing this actress take on a character that we've loved for so long, and there is some weight, but that should put no pressure on her not being herself. She should play the role. She should meet the role where it's at, with 100% of who she is. Because that is going to make the character stronger.
Well, and like you said, there could have been a like Dad said, a good miscommunication with directing, with execution, with vision. Again, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the Dave Filoni's characters. You know, like a lot of it was in his hands, and it was just very interesting. I think again. Yeah, we can do that.
I know we
definitely,
talked
if you
in
want
other videos about all these things.
Right, if you guys want to hear more of our thoughts on this kind of stuff,
please check out our
definitely check out our Ahsoka reactions. Regardless, we had a really great time watching it. Getting to connect with all of you in the comments, because let me tell you guys educated us a lot on a lot of different things and opened our eyes, and actually, you know, made us realize like, oh, this maybe did work a little better than we thought, or whatever.
Well, and it really did, and I kind of said this in our reactions, but I want to emphasize it. The journey of those actors in that story and in that show, they teach us a lot as actors, so that when we get on a set, when we get hired to do, you know, we're learning like, okay, well, we don't want to make those kinds of mistakes, right? And there could be all kinds of possibilities why someone as an actor, as an artist, holds back, all kinds of reasons. So the idea is, don't hold back, like show up 100% and you know, give it all you got, as they say. Give it all you got. There is no question that what you're living, being on a set, I mean, it's like anything in life, but it will definitely never happen again the same way.
Yeah.
You know, when you get, I never knew if they ever made like a making of Ahsoka season 1 or whatever. I've never seen anything on Disney Plus that gives you behind the scenes.
I think they have it. We just haven't found it. We never saw it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Right. But you know, the pre-production element of any show you're on is so important, and I feel like that show prepared us so that if ever we're part of a pre-production process, we know exactly what we're going to bring, which is all of us. And then we have to measure, like, okay, you have to read the room, and what are the directors and producers saying? What are they asking about? And you know, you're willing. I'll give you this quick example. When I showed up to the table read for The Liberator, I didn't read with a Mexican accent, and I was asked, are you going to do the accent? It's kind of important. I was like, yeah, no, I will. And I realized at that moment in the table read, I was like, okay, this is something integral to them, and they wanted to hear it today. I didn't give them that, but obviously I realized, I learned, all right, they need to hear that going forward for my character, so that they understand that I understand the culture, that I understand what it means for the Mexican people to watch one of their own be a hero, essentially. That is important. You don't just decide arbitrarily as an artist, well, it doesn't fit what I think, so I'm not going to do it. No, because now it's all about me, and that's not how it should be. Right. So I think this show teaches us to be like, really pay attention, really read what it takes to have a successful pre-production process that honors why you're telling the story to begin with. Yeah. You know, and that is a big lesson that I thank Ahsoka for, and the team that did Ahsoka, amongst other things. But that I didn't get to say in the reaction, so I'm saying that now.
Because we've had some time to kind of say
yes. Yeah. And you're also not saying that they weren't appreciating what they were doing.
Correct. Exactly. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. Right. But you start to wonder, like when you watch certain performances and the emotional, like it's just not there. I start asking myself questions like, I wonder what their pre-production was like. Well, I know what going forward, what I would do in pre-production because of it. And that I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, really quick, there's a Merry Christmas from England and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Andy likes stuff.
We said it earlier in the video before we really got into all this. But we hope that you guys had a blessed holiday season. You know, a Merry Christmas for any. You know, yes.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Well, there's a lot of holidays this time.
Yes, there's so many holidays, but
we celebrated Christmas recently, and we wish that if you celebrated Christmas, you had a great time. But if there was another holiday that you celebrated, there you go. We just wish that you had the greatest time and the most merry time that you could.
Regardless, we hope that you guys had a blessed holiday season. And we said it earlier. We know
there's love from Germany.
And love from Germany.
Sending
love back to Germany.
Thank you.
And we know that this time of year can also be extremely hard for some people. So we just know that you guys were in our prayers, were in our thoughts. As we know, it's not always as merry as the world makes it seem for some. So just know that you guys were definitely thinking of you and praying for you, especially going into this new year. So just we hope you guys had a blessed time. Mm-hmm. And yes, so the next topic, Mom, I'll throw it to you since Dad was on the soapbox for a little bit.
I'm off the soapbox. I'm done.
Loki season 2.
Yes.
What did you think of Loki season 2?
Like, this, speechless. No, I'm just kidding. I absolutely, I don't want to speak for everyone. I'm sure everyone agrees with me in this couch here. We loved it. Loki was, I mean, what a way to close it off. Loki has been one of my favorite Marvel characters from the very beginning. I know he was a villain and he was a very misunderstood guy. Some people, you know, he would drive people crazy because of the way his character was, but the fact that he brought the idea to life about his character having, Matthew, I keep doing that all the time, that his character could have such a storyline, and that we can get to know Loki better, and we could see this change in his spirit and his being, like just this transformation of a character, this arc, how he went from being so selfish to being able to get to that point of selflessness. I mean, we have cried through Loki. We have laughed. It just makes you want to be better all around. Yeah. The people who made Loki, we can't say enough good things about Loki. Yeah. The first season was stellar. The second season was equally beautiful in very different ways.
Continue to elevate,
They did elevate it. I think the creating of that kind of world where you're going back and forth on timelines and being able to show that so effortlessly, people who, like the sets and the way they can go back and forth, and the actors can play the same scene 10 times in a different timeline. Like, I mean, can you imagine just being the editor of that movie? It's the love and care that went into that. I'd say that was one of my, if not the favorite show of 2023. And it will be a favorite show for a very long time. Yeah. That's kind of where I am. I'll get off of my soapbox a little faster, but but we had you can see our reactions on our page. You can ride that journey with us if you haven't yet. We can go on for a long time if we start opening this can of worms with Loki too.
We all choose our burden. Wonderful line.
Well, yeah, it's just Loki, and it's just this last comment is I think the emotional part too is, the kind of the amount of care and love and dedication that Tom Hiddleston put towards his character, and him specifically, because I mean, everybody, like you said, everybody else that worked on the show, obviously, there's a lot of gratitude that we have towards them, but I mean, we've been with Tom Hiddleston as Loki since the beginning of all this, since the first Thor, over a decade now, and so it's like that's a lot of growth, and then him as a character, as an actor, right, as an artist, to be able to do that. He is one of those actors, you can tell, those artists that is very giving, is serving, and that element, like you're saying, that about completely just being all in, all there, and just bringing all of it to the table.
Well, it's like the example that you were talking about when you were mentioning Loki and you were talking about Ahsoka. It's like Loki is one of those perfect examples of where it's like it's possible, and also like the new characters who were introduced, they so gave themselves completely to their role. Even the Zaniac guy.
The wolf guy.
X5. X5 was the lady, I think.
Yeah, the new guy.
B-15?
No, that's B-15 is X5. You got it.
Yeah, so even a character like him, but even something about Tom Hiddleston, the way he performed in this season, I think just because I was more aware of it because of how much we love season 1, but just how much he just brings everything to the role, and you can just feel the gratitude of where his journey with this character, and for it to be like his final
bowing out
of that character, because he's pretty much not really going to be returning. He's just holding on to the whole universe.
I think that's a show giving. That I would love to hold on to into this new year, to make it a kind of like an inspiration for 2024. Really living out our glorious purposes, really living selflessly, appreciating the life that we have, It was a beautiful way to end this year, and I think taking that into next year, I think that's a good way to end this section of our commentary of this live.
Well, I don't know if we can, of course, talk about like wanting to do the other part, because this was a lot more dense than we expected.
Well, we can kind of recap the other one, but I mean, the last one that we did this year obviously was Matrix Reloaded, which we just recently did. So if you guys want to see our reaction and our thoughts, that you guys can definitely go check it out.
Buckle up.
The only thing I will say about Matrix, please, if you do watch it, give it time. The initial on our way to the very end reaction, right. It does come full circle. We do land in a bigger understanding.
There's the initial reaction. So, there is the initial reaction, and then, which is why I say buckle up, because it's like a roller coaster or like a ride. You have to be in it till the end. So just if you have the time, sit down, watch it. Don't get mad. Just truly hear us out, even if my opinions make you a little upset. I do have lessons to learn. There are some things that I haven't lived in life, and my dad has seen this movie more than once, and there's some advice that he gives with a different perspective that, opened me and some other people's eyes to a different way of looking at the movie. And so just please give it time, buckle and you'll have, there's more of a payback, if just buckle up.
I think ultimately, look, if you're here with us and you've been with us for a long time, you've kind of realize that the true joy is not, it was Matrix, but then it was Loki season 2, and then long ago it was Loki season 1, and it was Ahsoka, and it was fill in the blank. Like you're getting to witness us, and us as in my wife and I, share this passion for TV, film, and movie storytelling with our kids, and you're watching us teach them. You're witnessing us receive content that we've been receiving since we were teenagers that is now hitting us in a whole new way, and because of our life journey, we're able to teach them to become not just better humans, but also better storytellers and responsible artists. And so if you're still here, you probably have picked up on that, maybe just on a subconscious level, and hopefully that's inspiring you to be like, man, this is cool, like I want to do the same. I want to sit with my kids someday and do the same, because that's ultimately what we're passionate about, and we just want to keep inviting you to be a part of that, because
like, who's gonna stop you from putting on Jurassic Park for your 3-year-old?
Well, and it's great because like we watch some movies and TV shows, and then we talk about it after we have our commentary, and then we'll edit, we'll post it, then you guys will watch our reaction, then you guys will post amazing comments sometimes, and then we'll sit over breakfast or lunch and be talking about some of these comments and like, well, we didn't think about that. And so it's just this idea of really, the lens in which we see our the content, what we consume, like you were saying, Mom, and how we live that out. What's the takeaway, right? How do we be more intentional with what we consume and what we create? And so that's kind of that's the spirit in which we're going into 2024. And so that's what's really exciting. And before we get into the following year, what movie and shows that we are excited for, again, more about the spirit and all that, and what we're excited to do here on the channel and stuff. A quick recap as to kind of what we've been through as a family, some key highlights. Obviously, immediately, what affected us on a more business, economic level in terms of like work, career. For those of you that don't know that are watching, maybe this is your first live with us, thank you for joining us, if you haven't said it. We are a family of artists, of actors. 4 out of the 5 of us are actors in the TV and film industry. This young woman right here also was recently in a play, which we'll get to in a second. So theater as well, but Mom is the boss. Mom is like, head honcho. She's the one that gets the whole thing running. But point being though, she still a dancer, still is writing, and so we're all artists, and that's why we just love what we do here with you guys, because we get to just share our opinions and our thoughts. But anyway, the first thing was the writer's strike, which was earlier this year, and that was kind of like, man, I think when that happened, as actors, we were like buckling up because we knew the actor strike was coming. It was kind of like it was gonna happen, just a matter of when, and kind of hoping, definitely hoping that, and being optimistic that it wouldn't happen, but it definitely did. We saw that it, in a way, I think actually needed to happen for the change to happen, I've said happen a lot in this.
But the thing is,
to occur.
Not a lot of. It's some things have happened. It's just kind of. Not a lot.
Huh? What do you mean?
Like you keep saying happen, like
happen.
No, but which is okay. I'm just saying, like,
in our family, you're saying
no, like the purpose of the strike and the reason why.
A lot has happened.
What has been decided is to wait a little bit longer to make a decision for the next 3 years.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Because it's just a pause.
Nothing really happened. I actually kind of hoped that. Well, of course, as an actor, it would have been nice to have. No, not nice. I think it would have been powerful to go a summer without movies because it's very financially great for these studios to have their summer blockbuster films and to make that revenue.
Yeah.
And it would have been a really powerful statement for that to not happen. But as people who love watching movies, that would have sucked. Yeah. So yes, we're happy. We are, and it's a mutual way of taking a break and trying to really evaluate what this future will hold. And it's not acting out of fear. It truly is moving forward and hoping that we'll find a solution. So in that sense, not too much happened, but I think the right decision to just kind of wait and to just see where things go with an awareness was the most doable decision.
We weren't freaking out too much. I mean, there were still auditions coming in during the writer's strike, but it was definitely slowing down, and then it just
I think this also helped keep our peace as well.
I was going to say that doing YouTube and being able to connect with you guys definitely gave us like peace, and we weren't, not that we were doing YouTube to keep our mind off of it, but we definitely were like at peace and just were still excited regardless of what was going on in the industry to be able to connect with all of you. So that was really great. So that was writer strike, actor strike. Dad, if you guys, some of you guys remember, some of you guys have been watching us for a while. I don't know if you guys remember, but a year ago, almost 2 years ago now, right? You tore your calf, and that was a major, if you guys remember, a major life stage and moment. Where Dad over here learned a lot. You guys can definitely catch our other live or other reflections, but earlier this year in the spring, he got to overcome the hill. He overcame the hill that tore his calf. So he got to go back to the same spot, and he got to run up it again to kind of get over that emotional hurdle, and also to conquer that thing. And that was a great moment for you. You can kind of speak a little bit on that. But
that was a huge milestone. It was both physical and spiritual. The culmination of at least a year on a physical level. After tearing my calf, ran into kind of a path of health challenges and I've always been pretty health conscious and health aware, but this took it to a whole new level because it tied into the deeper awareness I was having on a spiritual journey that I was having, call it a spiritual battle, if you will. And so to culminate it, to be able to go back to the same spot on a very similar weekend of retreat for our youth ministry for our church, and to just have that moment to calmly and wisely go up the same hill, preparing myself physically to do so, and then also spiritually, was beautiful. I mean, it was just, more than beautiful. It was true grace and mercy. I was just grateful to be alive, to be able to be functioning on my own 2 feet, to be able to at first just walk up the hill, then kind of gingerly trot up the hill, and then slowly but surely a bit of a run, and then as close to a sprint as I could get, I did. But I was reluctant to go full speed, but it happened, and I was grateful that you guys could be there for it.
Absolutely. And so that was earlier this year. Another thing that happened close to that time of year was we started talking to family, and the family wanted to move closer to us, and so there was a big portion of this year, months, we were definitely all in terms of helping family move closer to us. And now, by the grace of God, we have family living very, very close to us, a lot closer than we have in years. And so that was a big change and such a great gift to be able to do that. Truly a blessing. But that took up, a lot of time because we were looking at houses for them, and it was this whole thing, and definitely was quite the experience and to be able to do that, but then also to come to that moment where they now were living, not too far from us, and they're, we're standing in their house, and you see the space occupied by them, and it's just all the beautiful sounds of family, of just laughter and all of that. It's just a surreal moment. And so now we're in a place of just being able to live in that with gratitude and creating. I'm kind of taking a little inspiration here from what Andy Like stuff says about parents passing down, as well as living new experiences with family is what life's about. So we are living new experiences with family now, which is extremely exciting and a beautiful gift. And even to this point, to kind of tie into what we do here as a channel, like we've been able to watch movies in theaters with family
for the first time,
but like it's something that, you know, for the longest time it was just us five, and so the concept of being able to invite family with us, even more family, is just such a gift. So that was a massive step. This year was our parents' 20th wedding anniversary. So maybe we can get some some celebrations there in the comments. But definitely 20 years of being married, which I think, I don't know if you guys want to talk about.
I have to use the restroom.
Oh, okay. Restroom.
But you guys keep talking.
Then I'm hungry.
I'll return, I promise.
But no, so they had the 20th anniversary. Was a beautiful year. For them, I don't speak for you. You guys want to have a quick little...
Do you want me to go first? Oh boy. My goodness. It
can be short. It doesn't have to be anything
short and sweet.
We've been here
Look,
for 2
it's
hours,
just just in the amazing grace of being yours, culminated in the last couple months, and then in June when we celebrate our 20th. I told you, and I'm saying it in front of everyone, it's the beginning of hopefully a year of celebrating into the many, God willing, many years to come, a lifetime to come. And I'm just grateful that a little bit of that, I'm talking like a slice of my transformation and becoming the man that I've always wanted to be for you and for our kids, a little bit of that has been captured through these videos. Why did I go first to this? Now and I feel like there's going to be videos that if I go back and watch reactions of me, with the family, going all the way back to like our Wonder Woman review, years ago, I was a very different person, very different man.
We all were.
We all were very different people.
Yeah.
And so culminating with the 20th anniversary, it just makes me so deeply grateful. It's hard to put to words. It's better to just live it out. And so that's what I intend to do, just to live out the gratitude. That's the best way to love, is just to live it. Love is a verb, and I intend to live it out as best as I possibly can. And I think the most, if you guys really want to get a glimpse as to how it hit me, just watch season 1 of Low-Key and then watch season 2. And that's all I have to say. Now you, please.
I think that's a very mysterious thing to say to people who don't have context.
Well, just go watch it. See if you can piece it together, and then meet me in the comments. I'll answer questions.
A mystery. The game is afoot.
I think
the game is afoot.
I think 20 years ago when we got married, we were obviously very different, very young. But anything worth fighting for, this is worth it.
Yeah.
So to be here 20 years later, to be surrounded by such amazing humans that we love so dearly, and to be doing this, sharing this journey with you, you're right. The videos, I mean, we're able to see them and go back and have all these moments where we realize, all these pinnacle milestones and things that we've experienced behind the scenes of what you guys get to experience through these videos. Like every time we put out a video, there's so much life behind that video that we go through to be able to put this out to you, ever so often. So you get like those little glimpses of our family. But we've been through a lot. We've been through a long journey. We've been through, obviously we don't have time to sit here and tell you all of our story, but
it is beautiful that we get to have the channel in a beautiful way. Has been, I don't know if time capsule's the right word, but
that's the word. That's it.
You get to go back and see these different glimpses of how life was, or we see certain reactions, and I, for myself, I think all of us, we noticed when we were different, when we were younger, when I was more insecure or like going through my stuff, so it's beautiful. And on top of that, you go back down to the comments, and it's beautiful because through all of that, we were still connecting with all of you and just sharing our experiences and our, the movies, the shows, And then to continue to be doing that, I think that's the gift that can, that's what keeps giving back to us. You guys are obviously always so generous, and your support and presence always means so much, but it really is something that, we always are grateful for those, for those of you that do see us and that do just continue to show your support and are always there to meet us in the comments and to connect with us. And it's just really, really been great, because I think sometimes we don't necessarily feel, life is weird in that sense, where like a lot of time passes, but then a lot happens in like a year, or a month, even a week. And so sometimes it's crazy to believe that, at the Avengers Infinity War reaction sometimes feels like it literally was yesterday. Like it was just a year ago, and so it's just kind of wild. But a quick little thing here, I've been seeing Gasian Guinea Pig. It's great to see you. Jason flags at dawn. Jason, good to see you. Thank you everyone saying congrats and stuff.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Like my love said, Loki was such a perfect I don't know how to metaphor to this monumental year that we've celebrated. And I just look forward to many, many more. So thank you guys for supporting us, for being here, and thank you, my love, for
thank you
this journey, and thank you, God, and thank you to these little people, not little people, big people that we love so much.
Big people.
Anyways,
I was gonna say, side comment, we actually did sort of a mini Tim Burton marathon.
Yes, King Porter's asking, did you guys like the original Beetlejuice? And we love watch Beetlejuice too.
I think revisiting
really
his films, Tim Burton is quite the fascinating storyteller. And after seeing the likes of the Batman and the Batman or Batman? Batman with Michael Keaton.
That was my first time watching.
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh my gosh.
Edward Scissorhands. I saw Nightmare Before Christmas.
What else have we seen?
I think there was some other
Beetlejuice,
the movie in question. But essentially we did really enjoy it. It was a lot different than I was expecting, and a very pleasant surprise, and so weird but so cool, and
it was so much fun.
The practical effects were insanely well done, and I mean, Michael Keaton did such a fantastic job.
I mean, the fact that they're making a second one, it
Beetlejuice
should be really exciting. And now with Jenna Ortega, where she's like the Wednesday now. So, and she's all in that kind of genre of like the creepy stuff.
So to see Michael Keaton come back and play this character again after so long, very curious to see.
Yeah, with Winona Ryder too.
And so yes, I hope that Danny Elfman is doing the music again, because that would be, I don't know why he wouldn't.
Right. Yeah.
You would hope
and
he
Tim
does.
Burton is very selective. I mean, he did the music for Wednesday as well, so
that's true.
I think it'll work out in that way.
Yeah.
So it's all around.
We will let you know what we think of it when it comes out, for sure.
Yes.
What else is next?
I just thought about this. We never mentioned it, but so last year was Dad's 40th birthday. This year was Mom's 40th birthday.
Yes, I'm on the fourth.
Yeah. And we to celebrate Mom, we got to go down to Orlando, Florida, and go to Disney World, Universal. We've never really gone
not for her
for her birthday. It's always been for like us three. As kids, we've always loved going to Disney, Universal, and so to be able to kind of give it back to her and make it all about her and what she wanted to do was just so beautiful and was so great. And then also just this year has been a lot of big milestones. Big birthday for me, big birthday for you, Jemmy. Josh too. I mean,
it's kind of an interesting one.
Because 17, 18, 21.
It's like
so
17.
Matthew turned 21 first.
Yes.
So he is now 21, which is crazy to believe. Jemmy just turned 18, so that's huge.
Crazy too.
And Josh, you were gonna say 17. Woohoo!
Big one. Yeah.
It's not celebrated.
It's been
crazy.
It's been a massive year.
Yes.
Not in like
emotional growth.
Growth, yes, and
spiritual
I think
growth,
maturity, things that I've experienced, and I've just
it's been beautiful.
It's been beautiful and amazing, and
it's an emotional thing because you are the baby, like you're the youngest.
Yeah, and so I think
to see you grow up so much is like wow, like now.
Yes, and there's
it's just
very special someone that I've been learning more about myself with,
it's really
and
great.
so that's just kind of been the way that life has gone, and also to see how I am around family and you guys and the family that moved here and the movies that we've been seeing. I've just felt my age. I've just I think how people are
just so old, Josh.
But but that's possible for anyone,
Yeah, you're right. No, I mean the responsibility.
I've been feeling my age.
But you know what?
I definitely
Here's
can't
the thing,
say I felt my age because of something I was working on this whole month. I've had to not play my age.
That's true.
A lot younger than my age, true. But it's a good thing to stay young at heart.
That's just I think.
But as the youngest, there's the reality of.
I was going to say that I think the reason he feels like that is because especially the way you are in your very nature. But as Mom said, you're the baby, so you've been watching all of us grow up, and by your nature, your empathetic nature, you've been growing up with us. So you're 17 plus 21. Plus, and this is probably terrible math, forgive me, there's an overlap, of growing up. You've watched me turn 41, 40, and 18. And so you've been witnessing your life happen, but the 4 people that you also see life through have been aging. So you're not just 17. You follow? That's why you're old. You sound older, because you are. But you're still 17.
Yeah, so it's beautiful. Even when he was younger, though, we'd call him a little old man because this is the way he walked and his little things where he was like an adult.
He's an old soul.
Yeah, I still help myself to a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Oh God. I just reminded myself of the character,
the French guy from Matrix Reloaded.
It's like wiping your arse with skin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
but anyway, it's been a very transformative year.
Yes.
And it was just really beautiful. It was really beautiful to go to Disney, spend time with our mom for her 40th birthday there.
Very special. We had just to share with you guys a really special moment.
Yeah.
We've been going to Disney ever since Matthew. I think that video we just ran into today. You were like
3,
2 and a half. And we've been going. Disney has been a pinnacle place for our creativity, our imaginations. Like, we've been able to be in that space so much, and I think Walt Disney's creativity has always just inspired us being in that space, the movies, and this is why we do this on this channel, because movies have been a big deal to our upbringing, to our evolution as a family, the way that we've grown up, and just the people that we are. We're very impacted by movies, but we had this beautiful moment. It was a very hot August day.
Humid.
I mean, the hottest day I think ever in Florida.
So humid.
Humid, where you have to put those what is it?
Windshield wipers.
Your glasses would just fog up within seconds of being outside. Yeah. It was awful, just hot.
Sauna.
It was beautiful. We had a great time, but it was hot.
The sauna everywhere you went,
Yeah.
And I think we have been through so much this year and just in the recent years. And I think just being in that space after we watched the fireworks show, we were surrounded by hundreds of people. You couldn't even walk. And we had this beautiful moment where we just kind of turned in towards each other and embraced and just started crying. And people just walked past us and left. And we were just in this moment, just almost still in time, like a frozen moment in time. And I think that's what this year has felt like. Matthew being 21, you're turning 18. We just had 20 years. These are moments that I know every year they just seem to be changing more and more and more because the kids are growing up so quickly. And all these reactions we do with you, we know that things will change. We know there's possibilities where our kids will have to travel to do work. Our lives could change very quickly. So every reaction we do, every live that we do, all of these experiences we have, it's almost like taking a snapshot in my heart to just kind of take it in and not live this life so quickly where you're just letting moments pass. You're truly embracing all the little moments in between.
Right.
And that's kind of been, I think that's something that this year has taught me. And that was a moment I wasn't expecting. But it meant the world to me to have the 4 of you in that space. after all these times we've been there, I mean, we've been there more than 2 times, you know, our hands can count.
Right. By the grace of God, for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's not everyone to that.
We've been blessed to be able to do that, but I don't know, being there at the age of, you know, turning 40, knowing that we had all these milestones this year, and not knowing what the future holds, you know, it's beautiful. So, so I'm thankful for it. That's it.
Yeah.
Living more intentionally and fully, and every day, you know, truly, like it's the last. And what does that mean, you know? And like you said, Mom, it's just been beautiful. Definitely a beautiful time that we spent there. And And then Jemmy, the last thing was you and your play. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that before we wrap up.
Yeah, so I did a thing this month, I guess. I don't know. It was, so basically this month I was very blessed to work at a professional theater for a Christmas show. It was my first, really my professional theater, my theatrical debut, if you want to say it fancy.
You should.
Yeah, so it was really wonderful. I was able to work with professionals, people I've been in it with for years. Theater is something I've always wanted to explore. I've been around it ever since I could remember. My dad used to work at a repertory theater when we lived, you know, down in Florida, and we would constantly go to your shows. We would just constantly be just surrounded by just the magic of what theater is. And especially because that's one of the very first portrayals of storytelling is through theater before film was even a thing. So just to see just to kind of be in that environment, and thankfully it was a very welcoming environment. I'm extremely grateful, and you know, if I'm meant to work on more in the future, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But it's definitely been life-changing for me. It's kind of bold to say that, but it's definitely has been life-changing for me. Just been able to channel my inner kid, inner child. It's just been very, very magical, and it's just been an absolute blast, an absolute blessing. So I was working on that basically this whole month. I had shows basically from the 1st to the 24th, so it was like nonstop every weekend. It was hardcore. Definitely physically took a toll on me. But in a good way. I couldn't have asked for more. I'm very, very grateful. And that's kind of what I was up to this month of December. And I had rehearsals all of November, so thankfully it was and it felt like a breath of fresh air, because I honestly, you know, obviously the auditioning has been slow, and I turned 18 while working on the show. So it's been, I've been able to meet some pretty awesome people. So
well, it's been a gift to watch. I mean, I don't know if everyone else, I'm sure you agree, but it's just been beautiful to watch Jimmy grow up, specifically during this season. Obviously, she's turned 18, and there's a lot of other emotional things that we've felt, and my mom's kind of hit at it. It's just been a very transformative year. But the most important thing I want to touch on specifically is, you know, Jemmy, I would say, has been the most patient out of all of us in terms of work, and her desire to work, to be on set, to work on a play has been strong, has been extremely high for the longest time. And she's the one that's had to see me get booked on shows and movies, and same thing with Josh, and wanting the same thing. And I'm sure, I don't want to speak for you, Jem, but because I know I've been through it. It's this feeling of why not me? Why not my time yet?
Yeah, like that
guys,
question
you know?
is like, am I doing something wrong? It's
and so
it's a bad rabbit hole.
To see her fully embrace her moment, to be able to just be that, you know, be herself on stage, to fully come alive, and also to push herself, to fully push any insecurities, any fears or doubts to the side, and say, screw all that, I'm just gonna be here in the moment, present, and just serve everybody that's in the audience, was just so inspiring, and reminded me why I love what I do, what we do. And I say to this day, I think out of all of us, she's the one that's gonna go the farthest. So, and I mean that with all my heart. And so it was just really, really beautiful. And obviously, I felt like a super proud big brother. I think we were all super proud, but it was just really, really, really beautiful.
So thank you. So that was me this past 2 months, and It's just definitely very grateful, very life-changing, and honestly, it's begun with just, the 5 of us, and then sharing our creativity on here for everybody, for you guys, and it's just been such a wonderful journey, and the fact that it's only beginning is incredibly exciting. So it's a new year's coming. It's a lot of great things are on the way. So I can't wait. It's exciting.
Thank you guys for being on this journey with us. Thank you for sitting with us. I mean, if you've been here since the beginning. We just wanted to kind of pour out all these things that we've experienced this year as we close out 2023. If we've been absent on our channel, if we've been a little slow to get things out to you, there's a lot of life happening behind the scenes. A lot of growth, a lot of new experiences. Jemmy and I were out of the house for almost 2 entire months with this show, but through that show, it's just something such a big part of our family as well. And thank you for your patience and just for showing up when we finally get to show up and for being here. Your support and your presence means the world. There's a lot of broken hearts this time of year, a lot of difficulties, a lot of loss. So we're praying for that as well. I know there's a lot of people going through hardships and hard times this time of year. So we are with you. We're with you in that sadness, and just know that we have you in our hearts, and
we understand you.
And we understand you, and we hope we bring you some joy, when you're feeling down, and you guys bring us a lot of joy by being with us. So
yes, no, it's absolutely.
So
and I think it's now we're just extremely excited and thrilled to see what this next year holds with God's help. Like we've kind of been saying, as a family, we've been growing, we've been evolving, which naturally means that MaJeliv will continue to evolve and grow, and with God's help in the best ways. MaJeliv is something that will continue to do our thing, and regardless of whether one of us gets booked and has to go overseas or something, that we'll still be able to find a way to, whether it's a reaction or it's a review or it's something, that we're going to find a way to still connect with you and still spread the light, right? Whether that's through our creative channel and doing more on there, and gratefully there's been writing going on, and we continue to want to do that as well. We're in a phase where we're feeling so creatively inspired to, it's like now we want to be making the stuff that people are reacting to, and so creativity stirring, and you guys are a part of that journey, a part of that process, and we're just grateful for it. And so we're excited to see what the next year holds. We have new ideas for what we can do here on this channel, as well as our reactions and our reviews, focusing more on the commentary, the conversations. That way we can get more out for you guys, because that's kind of in pure honesty, since I'm the one still doing a lot of the editing, it's a lot. It takes a lot of time, and in the midst of balancing that with other work that I have, whether it's acting or other work that I have here, it's a lot to balance. It's a lot to juggle, and then not to mention the physical toll it takes to sit in front of a computer for 8+ hours to edit an edited reaction. And so we're talking about how we can make things more efficient and just quicker. If we can get uncut watch along sent your way, and you guys can tap in, and maybe we show a little bit less of the movies, because then that way we can get over the copyright hurdle as well, because that's also annoying when it's like you spend a lot of time on a video, and I've done a lot to cut out a lot so that we don't get hit with copyright, because that's not what we're trying to do.
Right.
We're not trying to be illegal and just put the whole movie on YouTube. And it's gotten harder to get over that. But regardless, the point is we want to keep connecting with all of you. We want to keep spreading the light with all of you and inspiring you all to do the same. And so we're just going into 2024 with that spirit of how do we do that more fully, more intentionally, individually, but then also as a family. And so guys, that's us. That's our thoughts. Before we go, I'm gonna just look at some of these comments, because I see some people saying things. Happy New Year in Telugu. A lot of people have said Happy New Year. I'm gonna go up really quick because I saw Angela Saunders say Happy New Year, and hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Thank you. We hope that you had a wonderful Christmas as well. Thank you, Leo, for liking our wholesome family content on YouTube. Greetings back to Brazil. Thank you for the greetings from Brazil, Thiago. Let me see here. Josiah says, congrats, Jimmy. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Gaijin Guinea Pig says, theatrical debut, said with the heavy English accent. Awesome. So he says, congrats, a lot of congrats from Philosopher After.
Andy like stuff said, well done, 100%, 100%,
Yes.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
For sure. And then somebody else has a fan of ours from the Three Idiots reaction. Ever since Josiah here, ever since I started watching you guys, the positive and peaceful vibes you guys give has been absolutely inspiring, and it has changed my life for the better. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Josiah. Thank you so much. Know that we appreciate it, and
you've impacted us too.
You've inspired and impacted us as well.
Yes, definitely have inspired us. And then Gaijin Guinea Pig, I love being able to hop on your live streams and just know that it's a positive space with encouraging people. So thanks for that.
Same to you.
Glad. Thanks for all your time.
You are very positive.
Yes.
And
keep shining your light, Jason.
Keep shining your light, Jason.
You're doing wonderful.
Oh my gosh, yes. And then Royal Kuromi, OMG, hi, I'm so sorry for not responding earlier. I love your movie reaction so much. Keep up the good work, guys, and Happy New Year 2024. I'm really excited for the movies coming. Yes. Very exciting movies coming. A lot to watch, a lot to see. And thank you, Josiah, for a little affirmation on editing. It really is a joy, and I think, again, what gets me through that is just wanting to share our thoughts and our reaction with all of you, because that's what makes it so great. And I really do. I do love it. So yeah. Thanks again for everything. Have a great 2024. Just be natural. That's all that matters for your mental health. Yes, for sure.
And we also did see Jason. I think you'd appreciate the boy.
Yes,
Boy
Boy
and
the
the
Heron.
Heron.
That was like that and Wonka. That and Wonka closed out our theater experiences.
We can talk more about details of that and some other.
Quite the movies.
Yes.
It's and then we can. But I think we can say we could do it quite officially. I think they're both so heartfelt. I definitely think The Boy and the Heron, the experience of seeing it, beautiful because it's illustrations, beautiful because of the music. I mean, my eyes were streaming water because I was watching a Studio Ghibli movie in theaters. And I know we had watched some flashback cinemas, but my goodness, I mean, this was a new story we were about to witness, and just the combination of Joe Hisaishi's music mixed with the art style, and I could not, like, they just were not stopping, which actually made me start to fall asleep towards the middle of the movie because my eyes were tired. But it hurts the head. It's quite the complex story, and it's enjoyable. There's a lot of funny parts and some very strange and peculiar things.
That's great.
But the payoff, the takeaways are a lot more towards the reflection end of the movie. Once you've finished it, once you are contemplating on it, and you start to really see the themes of what it is to make a story, to tell stories, and to be the weight of being a creative. And the reality of our inspirations of what we've been through in life, and how essentially it's chaotic if you don't know what you want, if you don't know where to land, if you just follow every mystery that comes to you, and you could get lost by following some gray heron, but then this guy in this old spiky hair, it's the weight of maybe someone in your family being a creative, and you have it in your blood to be inspired and to create and to share stories. It's okay to say no and to be in reality for a little while, and so there's just a lot of things, those what are they called, the parakeets, dudes with the swords. That's like your studios, that's like Disney and all the companies that are just hungry for food, and the consumers. We are all parakeets who are eating a bunch of food and killing the storytellers because they will provide us with something. It's consumers, we're all hungry for something. But it's okay to say no. It's okay to no, I'm not going to be killed by you right now, bird, because I am not your food. I will give you and provide to you something because I'm human and that's what I do. But we're just going to so there's a lot that you could take away from the movie, but the enjoyment is found in thinking about it and in reflecting and listening to the music.
Gaijin Guinea Pig said that Miyazaki isn't done.
He's not done.
Which I absolutely adore. I am so happy that he's making more.
We gotta give him health and safety so that he may
and
continue to tell stories.
His most, what
personal,
Jason said, most
autobiographical work yet.
But the thing I was gonna say was
Heron,
Wonka. Not that it's the opposite, but it's different. Where most of the enjoyment, I think more of the enjoyment, because a lot of it can be found afterwards, listening to the soundtrack and reflecting on the movie, is the whole journey all the way through is so enjoyable, with the music, the acting, the set design, the innocence, the elements of the story, the colors, the rhyming of the words, the dancing, and all of it is just so. And for Timothée Chalamet to be singing and dancing,
I loved it.
It was fantastic. And then the Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go to the theater again. Just
I think both movies we're excited for 2024 in terms of not just 2024, but film as a whole, cinema as a whole,
beacons
the era
of
that's
hope
beginning.
and love, and
I think we had the revelation the other day that I think I said it, and then Jimmy and Josh chimed in that growing up, a lot of what we identified as the cinematic experience, the theater experience, was just going to watch Marvel or DC, the superhero movies. And again, we love that, and it's a gift, and it's memories that we will always hold in our hearts. But the reality of kind of going back to what our parents went through, which was these original movies like The Matrix, or I know Lord of the Rings was based on books, but movies of that scale, right?
Yeah.
That kind of this new wave. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once was an interesting, especially because a movie like that made it to the Oscars. Like, what kind of originality and creativity is coming, and what kind of movies are people, this next generation, what are they going to be making?
Yeah.
So it's very, very exciting to see what movies come out, what shows come out, how movies and shows that are made of IP, how they learn from the mistakes of other shows that have tried to do the same thing, and so that's very, very exciting. And so and we're delighted that we get to do it alongside all of you. So
Getting some love from Josiah. He said, "Old man Josh got them wise words, man." He says, "I'm just kidding." And then Gidget Fit said, "Right, his old soul was shining just now." And then they had a cool interaction. It's like, Jason, literally, they love you, Josh.
Sophia says, "Hey, just wanted to say you guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope you all have a great year ahead. Big fan from Pakistan. Also would love to see you guys react to Pakistani shows and movies too. So yes, thank you, recommendation. You're not the second person this live to say that. So please let us know some of your recommendations in the comments.
The comment from earlier gave us recommendations.
They did. So we have to find that later.
Soda? I don't know how to pronounce the name, but essentially there's Bin Roje and Tifa in trouble. So we can look them up. If you agree with those, the comment we just got now, let us know. If there's other ones, let us know. We will look into it and see if that's something we would like to react to.
And then Diago is looking forward to our Matrix Revolutions reaction. And then I think the new logo for Daniel and Johnny's dojo will be Eagle Fang and Bonsai Tree and their new D's in Cobra Kai season 6. Dude, that'd be dope. Cool. That'd be so dope.
That'd be awesome.
That is very cool.
All right. Then thank you guys for such an awesome live. It's been so great to connect with all of you. We've talked a lot, and we appreciate your comments, for you guys connecting with us. Again, your presence here just means so much. So thank you for joining us. Stay tuned. So much. We've got a lot of exciting things coming.
And there's a question about India.
Yes.
When we will go to India, we do not know.
We do not know, but it is on the list.
It's on the list.
We're hoping we get
That'd be amazing.
blessed.
We've had some
to be able to go.
We wouldn't even know where to begin because there's a lot of, India's massive.
There's an Indian restaurant next to the
theater.
The theater we're working at. Very generous people, super, super sweet.
But the food was
amazing.
amazing.
Food was so
delicious.
good.
So essentially, that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to.
So we're praying. That's a prayer we'll have this year.
Yes.
Is that one day soon we can go to India, but we will let you know for sure before we go.
I'm very personally excited to share new things in the new year beyond this channel. They're in the works. They're happening. And so if you really want more of our family, just stay tuned because it's just going to get even more exciting.
Yes,
so please
definitely.
Look out for updates. We'll probably do lives announcing some things officially. There's a lot of things that, for those of you that have been with us and you've been hoping and praying with us that things continue to grow and expand, it's happening.
It's coming,
and it's coming. So please continue to do that, and we'll continue to be here and serve you guys as best we can with the things we've been saying. So we're passionate about spreading our light that way, and so to see what's coming, I'm just excited to see how God will surprise us in that way, and to share it with you all will be a big blessing. bless.
No. Gauging guinea pig. I love the food there as well.
In Tokyo.
In
Japan.
Yes,
Japanese cuisine.
Yes, that side of the world's food is fantastic as well. And I know I'm also very hungry at this moment.
Yes, we are.
But Tokyo is definitely a place that would be very, very great to visit, and I think a great place to explore. And if you've got some insight, let us know.
So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Before we close, what's one word you're gonna take with you into 2024? Quickly.
One word.
One word. Like one word.
For the new year.
For the new year.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll start with mine.
Okay.
Courage.
I think build off of each other. If that's one of yours, use it and then say something else that you would like to take away. Because I know that we might be on kind of the same page.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying like one word that's like above the others. Yeah.
Right. I think the one that popped in my head just now is authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Girls.
I'm thinking.
Just quick. Don't think about it too much. Just whichever one
First
comes
word
up.
that pops to your mind.
Perseverance.
Oh my
Perseverance.
God,
Okay.
You took mine. You two took the two I had in my head.
It's what happens when you hesitate. You gotta speak.
I don't know.
Go for it.
If you want to say. So I took yours. I'm sorry.
Nope, it's okay.
Perseverance.
Okay, I'm gonna say dream.
Dream. Okay. Jemmy.
Positivity.
Positivity. So we got courage, perseverance, authenticity, positivity,
And this one.
and dream.
And dream.
Oh.
We're taking those 5 words.
Yeah, that's the one.
2024. We hope you do as well. And
what words are you taking with you?
Yes,
put them in the
comments, please.
Let us know your thoughts.
Hope. Yes.
Got hope.
Yeah, please.
Wonderful
put them in the
word.
comments.
Let us know in the comments. But yes, guys, thank you again. Remember, if you guys want to support what we do here on this channel, if you're not already, you guys can become members to this channel by either becoming a member through the join icon next to the subscribe button. You can subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. You can support us either through the membership or becoming a member of our Patreon. We haven't put a link to Patreon yet, but I think by the time anyone else that later sees this, you'll see the Patreon link. It'll be on any other video. So you have 2 ways to become members of our channel. And support what we do here at MaJeliv. But regardless, you being here today means a lot to us. So you guys, thank you. Go out there.
So amazing.
Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a blessed, we hope you continue to have a blessed break if you're on break, and a blessed time going into the new year. And we'll see you all in 2024.
Yes.
And yes, you guys. All right. Bye.
Bye.